How's everybody doing now?
Oh, I guess right after high school, ended up joining the Army.
You guys seem way more chill than that intro. I'm gonna take your fucking country back. I don't even live there.
Dude, we should get a boxing match going.
Smack the shit out of
That sounded wrong. I have to highlight that one. Oh.
Stay the hell out of the left lane if you're not passing.
You're so salty about this charge.
Finally, a law that I can get you from. You're driving in the left lane, it's punishable by 10.
You don't have to have a massive channel to make an impact, you know?
Steve, you smoke like a girl.
Always there.
I do not sound like Jalen.
So I dropped the wheelchair jokes. He's like, just fuck him.
You know, that's what the whole freedom of speech is.
That's a good point. Everybody gets a
You don't have to agree with it, but you best defend their right to do it.
You don't know your rights, you don't have any.
We just got a bidet.
The Constitution doesn't give you rights, you have natural.
Bidet will change your life.
But the Constitution protects you.
You'll never go back.
Horny bastard, he ruined it for everything.
I bet he wanted to knock him up.
It's because they are raised identity. Teach these government nerds that all swear an oath to it what our freedoms are because they're so lazy they don't.
I had a fun night. I haven't laughed that hard in a long time.
You know, don't live on the past or take the present for granted and only think about the future.
People are wearing blinders. They don't understand.
I'm not going to apologize for that.
Calling him an idiot.
I'm really disappointed in you.
Something just didn't agree on.
And all my money on you.
I'm guilty of inciting my constitutional right.
They don't like, they don't like. Love y'all. Y'all.
You know, never use it.
I don't think that God sees different faces.
We lost a lot of people during COVID, and most of them are still alive.
There's lots of weird stuff going on here.
Close your eyes if you're squeamish. And shout out to LSP and Days Not Here, man. You guys were very generous with the super chats, and I love you guys and
Appreciate everyone in chat. It's fun to talk about things and try to figure things out.
Welcome to Harloha and Days Not Here, man.
We talked about some crazy stuff tonight. I love to see different people's takes on different subjects. Much love to y'all. Stay prayed up, man. God is good. Love each other and be kind.
much love, much aloha, and most important, God bless.
Deep in the YouTube stream we dive. Real connections keep us alive. Comments echo through the night. Spread the love, it feels so
right there.
Wait a minute, it's not Thursday. Feels like a Thursday, but what's up, everybody?
I don't even know what the hell day it is.
What's up?
What's up, Denver Metro Audits? How's it going, man?
We're actually live this time, dude. Actually, I was watching the intro. I did not plan this, dude, but I was actually wearing the exact same shirt that I was wearing last time I was up here.
Oh no shit!
Yeah, I was like, oh, dude, I'm wearing the same shirt. Fuck.
No, it's been a while too. It's been what?
I think that was like a year ago. Wasn't
it? I was gonna say at least a year.
Yeah,
we gotta get D.M.A. some super chats so you can buy some more shirts, man.
I know, dude. Wearing the same shirt for a year. Jeez. Yeah. I want to tell you, Dave, now that we're actually live, dude. Sorry if I was coming off kind of douchey on the on that post. When I was like, you need a history lesson, man. I wasn't trying to be douchey or anything.
No, I know you do.
Say that to you, so
I like it. I like it. It kind of was like I took it as like a flirting thing.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I like that kind of stuff, man. I'm good.
So what we're talking about is Adam Kokesh. He got his channel deleted. I don't know if you guys know that.
Who did?
Is Adam Kokesh, and he's so a lot of people don't know him because he's been kind of gone for a while. It's kind of irrelevant, but he's really like one of the fathers of the 1A stuff, and he's not a First Amendment auditor, but he's like a civil liberties activist. Did the Adam versus the Man show and did a lot of street interviews, and he ran for not president in 2020. But like if you watch his old videos, I was going to do a show with him. We're going to watch all of his old videos, or a lot of them anyways, the audits that kind of just turned into audits. And I was watching them, and this is like, we're talking like 2010, 2012, old stuff, right? And the vernacular that he used is like the exact same thing that all the OGs you used to use and that we all still use. You know what I mean? So I think that a lot of people were probably influenced by him. There's not really like a father of 1A audits or anything, but he's definitely one of the original guys. So he got his channel deleted. So then Dave was like, who's that? I was like, oh, you need a history lesson. I was all irritated, but I know a lot of people don't know who he is though, because they don't. But it's super unfortunate. And then I think that probably the government has something to do with that though too, of deleting his channel. So, but he did an appeal, so we're waiting to see what's going to happen with that. But anyways, we're starting a new channel. He has a Rumble channel, and I'm managing the channel, so I'm going to be uploading a bunch of his old videos and stuff, kind of re-editing them and kind of my version. And so be on the lookout. You guys should go check it out. Its channel's already out. We had one, so I
need to, because Rumble, man, I've been saying this for like 2 years, but I've never gotten into Rumble because like John Felix, I know that he does a lot of his on Rumble too. I watch his YouTube stuff, but I never really go on Rumble. So it's like, but for 2 years I've been saying, I'm gonna go to Rumble and figure it out and get used to that. But
I don't know I mean, YouTube is definitely the spot, like it, unfortunately, because I don't really like Google, but they kind of screwed with me a lot too. But they kind of have a monopoly on this type of thing. You know what I mean? So like,
right.
I was looking at Rumble. There's some people on there, like you said, John Felix, and there's a few other guys, and like their views are like, like guys that are getting hundreds of thousands of views got like 300 views on those. So I'm like, I don't know if there's really not as big of a market over here. So
yeah, because I was gonna ask too, because for a little while I wasn't seeing like anything from you coming out, and I just thought you were like taking a break or something. But then not that long ago, like a week or so ago, I figured out, I finally seen that you've been like getting shadow banned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the shadow ban's over. Yeah, I was shadow banned, dude, for a while because I dropped that nudity video. I violated the nudity policy because I made that video. It's like a Go Topless Day, where all the women in Colorado, women can be topless in public just like men, and a lot of states are adopting this. And so it's like a celebration, and they got their posters, and it's like they protest, or I don't know what it is. It's like a walk, and they walk through the city and all that. And there's literally dozens of these videos on YouTube right now with millions of views in other states, the same type of event. You know what I mean? Right. And so YouTube's community guidelines and their policy and their nudity policy says that nudity is allowed if it's not intended to be sexually gratifying, educational, documentary, or scientific, in which it is. And I put a disclaimer in the very beginning, and it is educational. I went over laws, a whole bunch of stuff. And, of course, a lot of people don't like me. So they reported me. And unfortunately, whoever manually reviews it at Google, a lot of them don't like me either. Right. So even though I didn't violate the policy, they just said that I did. And so after that, it's like, it's a big deal. So now I'm high risk, and I don't know if they have any control over it. Like it's like the algorithm just does it. And so I was definitely shadow banned. So I went from, I was doing maybe like 20% of the views that I was getting. It was terrible, dude. And it was clear, obvious shadow ban. I think it's over though. So I've had a last few videos have been, back to normal. So, but I just haven't been, you're right though. I haven't been publishing videos. And so like I lost a whole bunch of members and stuff, and that's fine. Cause I'm not really dropping videos. I'm just so overwhelmed, dude. I got like more court stuff coming up, and that I can't even talk about, but I'm actually working on the jail documentary. So I did the 16 days in jail. It's called 16 Days In, for the Social Security video. And this is going to be super high detail. I've already spent like 80 hours on it, and I'm just barely got the first 3 minutes done. It's probably going to be a couple hours long.
Wow.
It's going to be like audio from my sentencing and from the trial. And then it's going to be clips from the actual Social Security video. And then it's got B-roll, like more stuff. And I went to go pick up my records and them acting up again. Like there's so much stuff, and it's so highly detailed, kind of telling my whole story, and it's, no one's ever done that before. And it's also going to be, it was originally going to be a jail documentary. It's going to be on my stay in jail, and it still is. But then I was like, no, I'm going to just make it this big old thing. So then I got security camera footage from the jail, So I'm going to go through that and kind of go through my time in jail and stuff. And like, it's going to be a lot of voiceover and everything because there's no audio. Play some phone calls that I made in jail, stuff like that. So that's going to take me probably, I don't know. I'm thinking like at least another month to get that one done. If I work every day on it, that's how highly
detailed. Yeah, videos. It takes especially for stuff like that. I know.
Yeah.
Man,
well, it's like all voiceover, dude. So I got to like record and then I got to like make sure it's right. And then I got to put it into my software, edit it. You know how it goes, like the levels and all that. And then it's visual. I got to come up with like either stock footage or I'm taking clips from like my old videos and using that like as footage to play and got to line it all up. So anyways, but I have my friend F in Reality. He's probably in the chat. Subscribe to my friend F in Reality. And we have a channel together. It's called D.M.A Pranks. It's a prank call show. And
I watch editing.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, he's
got to grab these links.
Social media manager. He's editing videos for me, so he's going to be helping me get more content up on the main channel and the backup too.
So real quick, I wanted to shout out my son Brian and nephew Joe. They're doing like roadie work for, well, he's actually the stage manager for Pierce the Veil, that band. And I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Dave Shapiro is the guy who manages the band. And he just died in that plane accident in San Diego along with 6 other people. So their actual stage manager for like 5 bands. They've known him for 20 years and they all just passed away. So shout out to Brian and Joe. I know you guys are going through hell. Much love. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but
no, I didn't hear about that.
Small plane crash in San Diego. I don't know if you guys know who Dave Shapiro is, but he's like metal bands. Got a bunch of the metal bands going.
Okay. No, I never heard of him.
It's all, I think it was all over the news more today. It's kind of weird, but it hit a residential area. I've heard all kinds of things like the runway wasn't lit up properly, or there was dense fog, whatever. But he had a Cessna he was flying. A bunch of young, cool people died. It's unfortunate.
Dang. Yeah, it sucks, man.
That scares me though, man, because that was more like a personal plane though, right?
It was just, yeah, he's been flying though, but he's got like, I think he has 1 million hours or 1 million miles.
Right.
So he's the guy who takes you up to jump out of the plane and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
I could never do that. I'm scared of heights, dude.
Yeah,
I know.
I think I died in a past life from like falling off a building or something. And it sucks, like, because I was an electrician. Being scared of heights and being an electrician is not a good combo.
Right.
I can do it. Like, if I'm on a lift, I'm fine because, like, you got your harness on and you got the gate and everything.
Yeah.
But like a boom lift or a the other kind of lift, all the lifts are fine. But like, if I'm on, the one thing I can't stand, I get so nervous on is trying to work on an extension ladder, bro. Because usually you're so high up and they're like bouncy and shit, dude. They're so dangerous, man. I hated it when my foreman used to.
I get 4 steps up and my knees just start uncontrollably. I'm like, I can't go any higher.
I always have this thought that the top ladder is just gonna slide down and it's gonna like catch one of my foot, like my toes in between it on the way down. And I'm just gonna like decap my feet.
Yeah.
And I'm up there like, why am I thinking stupid shit? But I am. I'm like every single time I get up on there.
Yeah. But what do you guys do that you use ladders for?
I used to paint expensive houses and they'd all be like on hills and 3 stories up. So I'd have like 3 scaffoldings that you had to dig in the ground, and then like a 25-foot ladder, 32-foot ladder.
See, scaffolding's not bad either. I can do scaffolding, but the extension ladder, forget it, man. Can't stand it.
Now, when I was crazy about 20, I would do, I did new houses and I would do drywall and mud, like sand the mud and put the mud on. And I would wear, what do you call them? Stilts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd wear stilts and then I would go up 3 flights and I'd be on a beam about 40 feet in the air on stilts, working over my head. And I had no fear of it at all.
Was that, did you have a harness? Were you tied
No,
down?
no, we were all scabs. We were scabs.
That's so dangerous, dude. Like,
It is.
Gavin, if that would be like a $70,000 fine.
But like the guy would be like, "Hey, I'll give you an extra $200 if you get up there and just finish that light," and I'd be like, "$250," and I'm up there, bro.
Dang, no way. I'd be like, nope, ain't worth it. Well, dude, back in the old days before OSHA and stuff, you know, you've seen that that famous picture like in the 30s of those guys sitting on that beam like 1,000 feet up eating lunch and shit.
Yeah, it was
I'm like,
normal day.
yeah, dude, that's crazy, man. It was all like that. Like if you look at, I saw this picture too. It was a playground in 1912 or something like that, or 1909 or something. And dude, it was so dangerous. Like it was so high up, bro. And like there was no protection. Like the slide was like crazy, and they were like 20 feet up in the air. I mean, no wonder they changed the way they make playgrounds now, because they're falling off there and dying and breaking their arms and stuff.
I used to make the young guys nervous because I'd go out into the middle of the plank, and they were big planks, man. They weren't going to snap, but I would bounce on the stilts. I'd make the thing flex a little bit, and they were all like, "What are you doing? You freaking crazy!"
Yeah, see, stilts are another thing. I actually was on stilts one time, not working though. This guy, my neighbor, her like brother was over. This crazy dude. I think he was a painter or something. And he had stilts, and he's like, "Oh, you want to try them?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I guess." And like, I got up on them, and I fell within like a few seconds, bro. Like, I'm not good on stilts. It's something you got to, I think, like you got to learn or whatever.
Everybody's scared to be up high on stilts. My thing was when I was trying to get down, because I would try to sit on a ladder and try to take one off, but then the ladder would be moving and you'd be all over the place. And you're like, dude, I'm going to get hurt more taking these off.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was many moons ago.
What about you, Steve? What did you use ladders for?
Well, back in Detroit, we would have to use them for like chimney liners. But out here, only really if someone's got solar and like the copper pipe going to the solar is leaking or something. So out here, I really ever have to use a ladder. But for me, what sucks is being claustrophobic. And I mean, just the job I was at yesterday, and I'll be back on Monday and probably Tuesday too, is in a crawl space, and it's like 100 feet long, and you go in on one side of the house, and that's the only entrance, and the work is all the way at the other end. So you gotta, on your, you know, like in the military, just crawl, and it gets smaller and smaller and smaller as you get to the end. And dude, I actually freaked myself out yesterday, because what I do when I'm in spaces like that to not freak out is I just start like saying stories, and like I'm like a narrator. So I'm like down there, and I'm like, he's crawling through the crawl space, and as he gets closer to the end, and I'm not even thinking about what I'm saying, I'm just saying it. And I'm like, as he gets closer to the end, he thinks he's all by himself, and then he looks up as it's getting smaller and smaller, and he sees two eyes, and then I'm like, and I freaked myself out, and I'm like, did I just see two fucking eyes? And I started getting, and then I get more claustrophobic because I can't get out of there quick. Like, you can't just stand up and
yourself worse, dude.
The reason I laughed is because I just imagine what the homeowner above you in the house is thinking as she hears this narration going on. You know, like, who the hell did I hire?
Yeah,
who's he talking to? Well, even better, I took a smoke break, and I went on the Nut House. What's up, Peanut? I went on because he was doing a live. So I took a smoke break to go on his live that lasted more than a smoke break time length. And the customer's probably like, he's been in his van for a while. What is he doing? I was like, Zoom call. It's important. When I'm over there talking like Christopher Walken and reading the script and shit.
What do you do, bro?
But plumbing.
Oh yeah, okay, you're a plumber.
So
do you do like residential stuff?
Yeah, residential. I've been doing it for over 30 years, but I've done new construction. Can't stand it because it's just the same thing over and over. And, but
I remember you telling me that now that you say that. We were talking about it last time I was up here.
Yep. Yeah. Past 15 years is residential, some commercial, but Basically, right now, anything, because it's my company and it's just me, so I don't have no employees or anything. But anything that comes in, but 99% residential.
You gotta get Nina to go under there with you, man. Just like tie a rope to your leg, and if you get stuck, she can just pull you out. Hook you to the winch of the car or something.
Dude, there was this guy at the job site who had his dog there on the job site, bro. And like the foreman was like, dude, you can't have this dog here, man. And he's like, this is an emotional support dog. Like, it's a law. You have to let me have the dog. And he's like, he didn't want to get in trouble. And I don't know what happened with that, but he was like, okay. And then he was like talking to the superintendent and shit, trying to get this shit sorted out. Somebody was telling me this, I think it was at school, like, you know, because the teachers are usually foremen or something like that. And he was telling us about it. And I was like, dude, that's crazy. Because I know emotional support dogs, at least in Colorado, I'm pretty sure that doesn't matter. Doesn't mean that you can bring them onto the job site. If it's like a service animal, you can. There's a difference between emotional support and service. Emotional support, all it means is that you can take them, like, you used to be able to fly with them for free without paying or having them go down in the where all the luggage is. But emotional support is not really. Some people will let you in their business with it if you get their emotional support, but they don't have to. So I don't think that guy was going to get away with that. It's so not like, it's so dangerous to have just a dog there chilling, dude, at the job site, man. You get hurt.
And I feel like emotional support dogs are not trained like.
No, they're not
like the other dogs.
Anyone emotional support dog, you just pay the fee and they just give it to you.
And I've been barked at, like in Home Depot. I'll be walking down and then this dog will lunge at me and I'm like, what, dude, really? You can't have a dog inside that does that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel supported right now. I'm going to go get a pit and bring my pit in here.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens, you know, but no, I'm just kidding. If you need one that bad, don't go to the store, man. Like, shop on Amazon, have it delivered. I don't know. I'm weird about it. I got lunged at in a whole, you know, like more than one time in those stores. I'm like, dude.
Well, Home Depot, they allow dogs. Anyone can bring your dog in.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't mind it as long as they're well behaved, but man, I'm not gonna get barked at.
Out here, anywhere you go, someone's always got an animal with them. I just got used to it after living here for so long. But at first, it was like and like some people have like 2 or 3 dogs in their shopping cart, and it's just like, all right.
Yeah, I used to bring them all the time, but I'll bring my dogs to the grocery store. Like me and Loaf went to the grocery store today. And it's just because I don't have Minnie because she's in heat right now. So my mom's got her. But I used to take them all the time because they're so small. I can fit them in where the kids sit. You know what I mean? I just put a blanket in there and they're fine.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. And like the King Supers that I go to, King Supers is what we call like Kroger. They never say anything. I'm going there for like, you know, over 10 years. And other people bring their dogs in there too. But like I try to take them into Safeway. It's a different grocery store we have out here. And like Safeway, they're all freaking out and they're like, oh, you can't because it contaminates the food. And I don't know if it's illegal or whatever, if it's like a violation to have a dog, if it's not a service dog in a grocery store. But that one by my house, they never say anything. And I can get away with it usually because my dogs are so small and they're cute and little that like no one really says anything. I've taken them into restaurants before, like no one cares. But yeah, what was I going to say about bringing your dogs in? Oh, I took my dog into Chipotle once. It was Minnie, and she was like a puppy, dude. She's probably like 2 pounds, and I was just holding her in the line, and the manager started freaking out. Dude, you can't have that dog in here, your dog. And I was like, why not? I'm just holding her. It's just a puppy, dude. And he's like, yeah, but you're contaminating the food. And I was like, dude, see this sneeze guard? You know, that guard that covers the food, guys, the glass, that's called a sneeze guard. I was like, how is my dog holding her in my lap, contaminating the food? Like if I was holding a baby, it wouldn't be contaminating the food. It's like, it's the same thing. I mean, I gave my dogs a bath weekly, like, and my dogs don't shed either. They're hypoallergenic. So, you know, they have like regular hair. So like people it's just like they get caught up in their mind, like, oh, you know, you can't do it. Or they're in a position of power or the manager of the Chipotle. So they got to like just freak out, but they don't like really think logically. Like, dude, is it really hurting you, man, to have my little, I mean, I understand if I brought in like a big old German Shepherd and it's like, you know, jumping on people or something like that, like you were saying.
Yeah. I was gonna say, because a couple months ago, I don't remember what store I was in, but like this dude had, and I forgot what kind of dog, like those like Afghan or something, like they almost look human because they're so big and they got their face. I'm like, really? Are you kidding? Really, dude? Like that thing's like up to the guy's waist and he's like 6 feet tall. It's like that's not a dog. That's a horse, bro.
It's not the dog with like the dreadlocks looking dogs.
It's an Anunnaki.
Oh no, not that one. The
talking about the Great Dane?
No, not Great Dane. These dogs are bigger than Great Danes. I've seen these dogs like you're talking about, bro. They're like way bigger than a Great Dane. It's like a lion or something. I'm like, dude, that shit is
Bull Mastiff or what? Jeez.
Yeah, like one of those might be that.
The first time I can't remember the name of them, but the first time I seen one was when I was plumbing back in Detroit, and I was walking to go back to the van. I was walking through the living room or whatever, and behind the couch, and I thought it was like a little girl or something, and I was like, "Whoa, what was that? Am I seeing shit?" And then I double looked, and it turned out to be a dog, and it freaked me out. I was like, "That's what the hell? I've never seen a dog that big before." It was creepy, but
I mean, if you're gonna be like that about dogs, and I guess you can't take girls with long hair in there either, because their hair's gonna be falling all up in your ice cream.
Yep. Yeah, they're just as bad, dude. Like, you know, human beings, they just shed, dude. So
I mean, just check their brushes and you'll figure it out. Like their hair comes out. I don't know if it's a disease or something.
There you go.
Yeah. And then I got like people's hair in here too. I was noticing this hair in the bathroom. It's like picked it out. It's like some dark, long ass hair. I was like, who the fuck hair is this, dude? And then I'm like, oh, it must be someone, because I got people in my house now because I'm selling this condo. So like that's what it is. People probably just walking around in my house and shit. And I got people's hair in here.
That's not
random strangers.
Yeah, like my wife, when I come home, if I haven't been home for a few hours, she'll hug me, and then I don't know if she has like hawk eyes, but she'll be like, "What is this hair on your arm? Is this a blonde hair? I don't have blonde hair. Why the hell is this on you?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. Maybe I sat like in the truck or like with one of my son's wives, all blonde hair."
Mm-hmm. I know they always get all crazy like that.
She's joking, but you know what I mean. I hope.
Sometimes they're not joking. I've had some that are not joking. What bitch you had over here? Who's this hair?
Right.
Like, that's yours. What are you talking about?
No, man. I don't leave DNA. I told my wife if I'm ever gonna cheat, it'll be like six countries over or something, because it's small world.
Mm-hmm.
You ever run into
that's the social dynamic of it. Like women will typically cheat. They're more likely to cheat on their husband when they're out of town. So like if a woman goes on vacation with the girls, she's more likely to cheat, or if she goes on a business trip or whatever, because women are hardwired not to cheat, right? Because you know, it's just like social pressure of like women sleep around, it makes them slutty. And so there's less consequence because there's less chance of them getting caught if it's just some dude across the country, you know what I mean? So that's when they cheat.
Yeah. It's a good way to
here we go.
Girl trip to Vegas is not a good idea, guys.
No.
It is Afghan. And tell me that doesn't look like a little girl running across. If you've seen that going by behind the couch.
Yeah, you totally think it's like a little girl, huh?
With the hair and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what the dude, that shit scared the shit out of me. But then I think I was in Home Depot. I can't remember, but I seen a dude walking around with that thing in Home Depot. Oh shoot, Russ Top $5 super sticker right on.
That's Russ Topol, dude. That's my friend. He's got I think I have one video with him on my channel.
What's up, Dub?
Yo, what's up, Dub?
Wubs. What's up, Dub Wubs?
Dub, I wub you. I'm kidding. I just love that last name.
I want to give a shout out to Russ Topol real quick for I got a new one. I just put a new one. Here we go.
Super chat, super chat.
Oh, that's cool,
Word.
dude. Did you make that yourself?
Yeah.
That's sweet, dude. I want to do something like that too. I'm gonna copy you.
And we just want you all to know that those were all support animals used in that video.
No animals were hurt in the film.
No.
No animals were harmed in the making of that video.
So what are you working on, D.M.A? What's going on? What's new in your life? You told me about the video.
So yeah, the video, I'm just working mainly on that documentary right now, but probably going to be working on a couple other things too, just to get some more content out. Cause like I said, it's going to be like probably, I'm thinking a month before I can get that. But just that. And like I was saying, I'm selling the condo. So I'm going to be moving. And I don't know where I'm going, bro. It's like kind of just up in the air. I originally was going to move to New Mexico because I got family out there in Albuquerque. And I was like, I could be out there with ANCAP. I don't know if ANCAP was in here.
Yeah, I seen him earlier.
Yeah.
It was,
And, I got at least some family out there. And one of the family, like only one of the family, my cousin is the only one that really likes me, but it's cheaper to live out there too, So like I thought, well, I sell this place and then I could buy, something cheap down there. I get like an actual house, with a yard for my dogs. But I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe Colorado Springs too. So
That's nice. Colorado's nice.
Yeah. Colorado Springs is nice because it's still expensive, but it's not as expensive as Denver. And it's like still a pretty good sized city because I need to live in a city for the work I do. So
right.
I would love to live in the mountains, like far away and isolate. Older you get, the more hermity I become. I don't want to talk to anyone.
That's the dilemma I'm in right now. Cause like I inherited property up north and it's like, there's nobody up there, but there's also less doctors, less people, less content. Yes, it's quiet, but it's farther to doctors and hospital and groceries. And it's like, I'm trying to make this decision because it's a huge decision.
Well, like you just go once a week or whatever. Like you just go down like for one day and get, go grocery shopping, any errands that you need to run, just get it all done in one thing and then all the way back. So like if I were to do that, I thought about it too, because I thought about like homesteading somewhere out here in Colorado too. And I would have to just take like one day a week if, okay, it's time to go get some content. I just spend all day, just take a trip down to the city and just take all day just working on stuff and maybe into the night and then get a bunch of videos and then come home and edit them, So it could be done. It's just.
Yeah, and shout out to homesteaders because, man, you guys live some hard lives. I'll tell you, that's a lot of work to keep a property going like that.
Yeah.
Especially when you have winter,
Yep.
Dude,
that's the way to do it, man. That's the only way to really, truly be free, bro.
I was just going to say that, man, because we just got back from the Big Island for my wife's birthday and we rented a camper van, which was fucking awesome, dude. We had a great time. And when we returned it, the first thing I noticed, like, because we had to drive a long way to return it. And first thing I noticed when we pulled up, I'm like, oh, she's living off land. She's living off the grid. She's doing it right. Like, just that's the only way to be free, man.
So was the van was knocking or rocking? Don't come knocking. Was that what?
Dude, like? I just downloaded all the videos yesterday, and I got Nina for her birthday one of those 360 cams.
Oh, that's cool.
So we got a bunch of video on that, and then the other cameras. But I just downloaded everything yesterday. It's gonna take me a minute to.
That was weird timing when you said that though, because I said the van was rocking, don't come knocking. Then you're like, yeah, and I got her a 360 camera. And I'm like,
you can see everything.
Was that connect? And I downloaded those. And please don't get yourself X'd out on YouTube.
You can see the van rocking from every angle.
Yeah, you'd be on OnlyVans. OnlyFans.
Oh, dude, that's a good channel name. OnlyVans.
OnlyVans.
Did you hear that, baby? That's what you gotta name your channel.
If you run with that, I want 10%.
All right. Deal.
Actually, that would be dope. I want to do that too. Still, is like Amagansett Press, get like a big old fifth wheel or an RV or something like that, and travel. Like I would like to just have it just for going on trips and stuff. It'd be nice to have. You know? And those things are like the ones that pop out and stuff. I mean, it's like they're like as big as my condo, dude. I mean, you could easily, comfortably live doing that. I'd love to travel the world or travel and do audits and stuff like that. And I mean, it'd be so comfortable. You got your own space and everything.
Because, really, if you think about it, like when you're at home, like you have bedrooms, bathrooms, living room, family room, kid, you have all this space, but are you really spending time in any, like, do you use any of that space? All like
Yeah.
barely ever, right?
Yeah,
Like,
to store stuff.
for me, if I'm home, I'm sitting here or I'm using the bathroom or I'm sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in one of those vans or RVs, it's all just put together, and it's like,
Yeah. I mean, and unless, like you said you're claustrophobic, but you think you could handle.
right,
Small
yeah. Well, then
space.
that's the other thing. Like, if we're out doing that, I'm not gonna be spending much time inside the van anyway.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna be out doing
Sleeping and
shit.
chilling.
I think that'd be perfect therapy for people like me with ADHD, because I can't stand being one place too long or one job too long. I got to move and do different things. So, traveling would be awesome. Just quite a bit of traveling. Always a different. If you don't like the scene, just move on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
And that's our plan, though. We're planning on getting our own camper van and then just traveling cross country on the mainland, because you can't do that here. We're on an island. I mean,
You're gonna get a Volkswagen, one of the old Volkswagen buses.
oh, that would be cool though.
Well, that
Those buses go forever too.
Little flower on the front.
A little hippie, turn into a hippie one.
You'd be getting pulled over for sure if you got the flower though. Be like, "Are you high?"
You got to put the Steve Harloha logo on it, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I travel with my companion animal. I mean, Nina. Sorry.
Yeah, well,
What's
like
up,
the what's it called? The Auditing Erie County patrol car. Have you seen that?
I didn't.
Yeah, he's got it's like it's a Saab. It's like a Saab 9.3, and he's got like Auditing Erie County logo on the side and everything. It's like his actual official auditing car.
Oh no, I have seen that.
Is that red?
Is
that the red one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, I saw that one. Yeah.
And he got that because for somebody in some video, I don't remember which one, somebody saying that he's not press or something like that, or not official or something have to do with a vehicle. So then he just got a vehicle. Like now it is official. Look, dude, this is an actual press vehicle now.
Tell him to make a LLC and he could write that off.
Yeah, he might already have one, but yeah.
It's a work truck.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I should do that because I just made an LLC actually not too long ago. And I have it's a D.B.A. Denver Metro Audits. My company is called Executive Lens, and D.B.A. Denver Metro Audits, and I got Denver Metro Audits trademarked, the logo and the name.
Awesome.
So, and then, but yeah, I just realized that. So what I'm going to do, because I got to register my truck soon, I'm going to switch it over into the LLC. Yeah. And then I could just write that off too next year.
Yeah. Throw some profit in the LLC so it doesn't get taxed and you can't get sued. So it's so good to have an LLC.
So yeah, I gotta figure all that stuff. I don't know anything about it. It's my second LLC. I had one when I was really young for this pizza place I owned, but I haven't done this in a long time. So
I'm learning too. I had to refresh. But yeah, it's protected. Like money's, if you hit somebody on the street, they can't take all your money.
Right.
They can't sue you.
Yeah, it's got to all my stuff, put all my money in the LLC checking account, like all your assets in there. Like right now, my credit's like going to shit, dude. That's why I'm having like some financial shit. That's why I'm selling the condo. But like I had great credit, dude. It was like high 700s. Like for a while, I was like, yeah, my credit's doing great. And then all of a sudden, it's like I think my credit's down to like 500 something. Took a total shit, but it'll get back once I pay all that shit off. It'll come back, but. Yeah, that's so I like cool. I got in case they try to like levy my bank account, they can't do it now because I don't have any money in those. It's all in the business one. So
my credit's been shit my entire life.
I went and closed all my accounts and opened new accounts at the same bank so that any kind of withdrawals that they try to take out, they can't get anything out. Because they kept taking it anyway, even though I told them don't take it or whatever. I signed all their forms. They were still taking it out. Like any kind of auto pays that you had on your account, they'll never stop unless you change the account.
Oh, really?
Well, they didn't for me.
Huh.
So I just I'm like, hey, these people keep coming after me, and I you know, like if you sign up for a 7-day trial, I found one that was still sucking money out of me 8 months later, and I didn't look at my bank account really to find out until 8 months had went by.
Yeah.
So
I'm
they're like,
that too.
we'll just shut this account and open another one. That's the easiest way nowadays. So I'm like, cool. You know,
Yeah.
In here, I thought you were selling the condo to get rid away from HOA.
Oh, well, that's another reason too.
I can't stand
dude.
fucking
They're a
HOA,
nightmare,
dude.
bro. Can't stand this HOA.
Dude, they're worse than cops and the government combined.
Oh gosh. Well, I actually have a video on my channel. It's for the members though.
No,
the HOA, them freaking out on.
yeah.
Have you seen it?
I'm a member, yeah, and I watched it a while ago.
Dude, the HOA, the total Karen, dude, like blocking my camera. You're not allowed to take pictures of me. I'm like, dude, this is my own property, lady. Like, not only was it like not in public, but like it's my own property that I own. And she's telling me that I can't take pictures on my own property and shit.
That's what I don't get about it. What I always say is just usually it's lonely housewives that are so bored they need to feel like they're in control. And that's what they do. And it's like, who are you to tell me what to do with my it just doesn't make sense.
Well, we have to have an HOA here because it's condos. So, you got to have something to govern it, to like mow the grass and all that. But like this lady that we had, that lady that you saw in that video, she was so corrupt, man. Like she was mailing us out stuff saying that we needed to paint the exterior, like border of our doors and stuff. And I called her. I was like, hey, why do I have to paint the exterior? That's your guys' job. That's what I pay my dues for. And because I said, like, it's a violation if you don't. And she's like, oh, well, you don't have to. We're just asking you to. And I was like, asking me, it's like, dude, when I order a burger at McDonald's, they don't ask me to go back in the kitchen and make it myself, dude. I'm paying. Why would you even ask me that? And then she's like, oh, whatever, blah, 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 and, being dumb. And I was like, because this lady was like taking pictures of giving us fine after fine. And then I was like, dude, there's like serious problem. Like we had exposed wires, like trip hazards. There's trash everywhere. I'm like, you guys should fix all that stuff before you start hassling me about like some tires I have back here. But I saw this elderly man, my neighbor up here. He's like a senior citizen, dude, all sweating and struggling, trying to paint his thing. And I was like, hey, man, I was like, you don't have to do that. And he's like, yeah, I do. She said it was a violation. And I was like, no, it's not a violation, dude. They just say that so they can convince you to do that like you're doing, but you don't have to. I already talked to her. He's like, oh, I already started now. And I was like, dude, that's so messed up, man. You know what I mean?
It is. Dude, it reminds me of the James Friedman video that just came out recently when he just showed up with a clipboard and was acting like the government.
Yeah.
It's the same thing because most people, like if they're HOA and they say whatever they say, and most people would just be like, well, they said so, so we must have to do it. You know, it's like
on a real quick, I'm going to throw Denver's link out here if anyone wants to sub up or check his stuff out. I know he's got another prank channel too. I can throw that one out.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's well, if you go to the main channel, and then the more, this little thing, it changed YouTube, like by your logo, it says more, the 3 dots, and that brings up all of my channels. That prank call one. We haven't actually, me and F in reality, he's in the chat. We're slacking. I got more pranks I got to put up. But I was actually keeping my phone because I get all these calls, from the scams. Oh, do you remember getting into this car accident? And I'm like, yeah, it's always like an Indian guy or like, you owe this much on your credit card and blah, 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 right? All the scams. Because you can tell when you pick up the phone, it makes you like this dropping water sound, like boop. I'm like, oh, it's one of those. And like, I'll record it, dude. And I'm like just messing with them, trying to waste their time and stuff. And they get all pissed. And then you got to know like the words to say, like, oh, I'm banchoed or matterchode. And it's like a FU
that,
word or something.
That
like
link right there is what it is, right?
Huh?
I just threw that link up. I think that's the correct link, right?
D.M.A.
That's it. Thanks.
All right, cool. Yep.
Yeah, we got some funny pranks on there, dude. But I'm recording stuff now because I'm like, I'm gonna get a good prank, like on a scam call, and then I'll publish it up. So,
what's up, Yankees?
Oh, those scam ones.
I'll be right back.
Scam ones are the best. Yankees for life. It's been like what, Dave? A week and a half since we've been live.
I think 2 weeks. Well, I missed one. I missed one, and then
no, because
then we did the last.
It's 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, because we were supposed to go on, but you went to the Big Island.
Yep. No, yeah. The last time we went was Mother's Day, May 11th.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mother's Day sucked for me, but it was all right.
Sorry to hear that, bro. How long ago did that happen?
March 25th of this year.
Yeah. I know, like we were talking backstage, when that happens to me, bro, like it's going to be people. I hope people aren't ready for me to stop grieving, after just a couple months, dude, because it's going to be like probably years, bro, like at least a year before I'm.
Yeah, it's mom.
I'm surprised you're even like up here, bro. Like that's hard stuff, man.
It's a couple of weeks I was out, but all the meth is helping.
Oh yeah, dude.
No, I'm just
cure all. Heroin's better though. It's kind of just like cure all for everything.
This is for entertainment purposes only. YouTube. Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't.
They're bad for you. Oh, so he's got the big video coming out. Steve, you got anything coming out?
Yeah, I just finished my first, because I started doing the shorts, the comedy shorts, and then it took off. Like the one's got 2.5 million views now, the other one's almost at 1 million, and then a bunch of other ones got tens of thousands. So it like took off real fast. But
you should say it like Trump, because it'd be better. Like the huge,
I can't even think right now. I almost went to the Christopher Walken one.
You gotta say you have the hugest show.
Oh, but long form videos are huge. That's what it's at.
Right.
Bigger audience, they stay longer. It's amazing, phenomenal. So I told them, I said, I'm gonna start making long form videos. And I did, and that's exactly what I did.
And of course it was perfect.
That's like spot on, bro. You should go do something live with that.
That's what I'm saying.
But the shorts are fun, and long form takes longer, but long form's more worth it in the end.
I gotta have me cowbell. Love it.
Good one. Yeah, I noticed you got like your subscribers went up big time, dude. Is it from those shorts that you're doing?
Yeah, when that one video hit 2 million.
I haven't seen it, dude. Can you play it?
Let's see.
You get a copyright again on your own video.
Right. Every time I play, I don't get this. Maybe I'm missing something, or maybe
I don't want to.
But every time I play one of my own shorts on a live stream, I get a copyright for my own video. I'm like,
what?
It doesn't make sense.
What's in the video though? Is it have copywritten stuff in it?
I don't think, because I change everything. Like that's what takes me so long to make them, because I switch everything up. It's like,
is there any music on it?
Nope.
What does it say in the copyright notification?
Let's see. What did it say? Let me see if I can look it up real quick. I remember, when's the last time I did that happened? Here we go, yellow.
I think you should do it anyway.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do it anyway.
Because I don't want you to lose your monetization, though. That's so weird. You got in your YouTube studio, on the top right corner, it's like a little box, like a message box. Do you have that? You can click on it and chat with someone from Google, and you can ask them about why it's copyrighted on my own video.
Right. Yeah, I've never clicked. I've seen that, but I've never actually talked to somebody
and tell them, hey, every time I post this short, it's my own short. You guys put a copyright for my own stuff, and hopefully that's it.
I've had my channel up, for doing content for over a year, I have 83 watch hours, which is total bullshit. Because when I go into my analytics, it shows like well over 5,000. Or anyway, it's more than enough. And they say 83 actual hours. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, dude, on my other channel, I got a bunch of channels. It's called the Christopher Cordova channel. It's my personal channel. I've been working on it a lot, actually. I actually have a video on there that I just did. It's about my dentist. And he was trying to say that I have all these cavities and trying to do fillings that I don't even have cavities. I went to a different dentist. He said, you don't have a single cavity. So it's a good video. But on that channel, I actually noticed my views were going down, bro. Like views, not likes, dude. Views. Were
Weird.
going down. Like every time I'd open my YouTube studio, it kept like taking off 10 views. And I'm like, what the fuck is this, bro? Like they do. That's why I said I don't like Google, man. They do all this weird stuff.
Yeah, like they said they were gonna change it too. Like you had to watch it an actual minute before it was a view, and then supposedly they changed it to 8 seconds or something.
Okay.
I think it should just be if they clicked it, but I don't know. They're always changing it up.
But I just put the link for the one short in the chat.
Which one was it? The Robin Williams?
The Robin, yeah, the 2.5 million one.
That's still going up. That's good.
Yeah, because it was at like 2.3 million like 2 weeks ago. So, but then that's the weird thing, because then the other one with Troy Bond, which was my longest short that I've ever posted because it was almost 3 minutes. I kept forgetting that you can do 3-minute shorts now. And that one's almost at 1 million and still getting views. But then kind of after that one's still getting views, but then after that, every short is like nothing. It's
That's
like, how
because
does it?
It's because you went to the Big Island and did
I'm
your.
telling you, man. Once I went to the Big Island, like all my shorts just stopped getting views. But the ones that were already out before that are still getting views, but the new ones aren't.
You're getting punished. Punishment.
Yeah.
I have shorts that have been getting views for like years, bro. They still keep going. Like that one that the biggest one that I have, it's with that lady officer in Albuquerque. It's got like 12.3 million views.
Nice.
And it's still, that was like a year ago, and it's still, it'll like kind of die down, only get like a couple hundred an hour, and then it'll jump back up to like 800 an hour. And then like, and I have sometimes like they'll be dead for like months and months, and then all of a sudden, boom, it'll just pick up. It's doing like 1,000 an hour. I'm like, whoa, this one's like, holy shit. It's weird with shorts like that. And that short, that viral one that I was talking about, it started out like, he ended up with like 100,000. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then it just died out for like 6 months, like nothing. And then boom, it skyrocketed like out of the blue. And it was getting like 36,000 an hour.
Holy crap.
Shit. Yeah, dude. I was getting like 1,000 subscribers a day. I was like,
that's awesome.
Yeah. I ended up making I think like $4,000 on that short. On the one short.
Steve, didn't you pick up like 2,500 subs in like a week and a half or less than a week?
Yeah, in about a week. Yeah,
about a week.
Yep, that's the cool thing about shorts. The only thing is like there's different people that watch. Like there's some people that they just watch long form, and there's some people that watch long form and shorts, and some people watch long form, shorts, and lives. But there's some people that they just watch shorts, dude. Like they don't watch anything else, and so it's cool. They'll subscribe and maybe they'll watch others of your shorts, but there's a lot of people they don't actually watch your long form videos, which is like the ones you want them to watch, right? So that's the only thing about those. So
that's exactly what I was going to say.
It's like somebody has a shitload of subscribers, they got like 600,000 subscribers, but then you go look at their long form videos and they get like, 3,000 views, 5,000 views, so like it's because but their shorts though have millions of views, right?
Yeah.
You can tell.
Huge difference between shorts subscribers, long form subscribers, and live subscribers, because you could
I hardly ever get subscribers from live streams. Usually the people that watch those are already subscribed.
Right. Which is weird, because for me, I never watch shorts.
I always watch shorts. I love shorts.
I get sucked in. It's the reason I don't go to Facebook anymore, because I just get sucked in, and next thing I know, 4 hours goes by.
Yeah, dude, I know. I feel you on that, dude.
Don't do it. But
I got this one. Go ahead.
I love live streams. That's all I like, live streams, and then videos. But I don't watch videos much anymore because I'm always working on videos.
Yeah, me too, bro. That's why I'm like, say I'm the last one to know, like someone got arrested or like who the new guy is on the block. I never know anything that's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all right. I relate to your hermit when you were talking about being a hermit earlier, like not wanting to leave the house. I like that's me. I don't want to talk to people anymore. I don't want to not really, but there's so many idiots out. Why do I want to talk to them?
Yeah. No,
I'd
I
rather-
actually really don't want it. Like I find myself like hiding from people, like pull up to the house, like my neighbor's out there. Like, oh God, I know she's gonna want to talk to me forever.
I say it every time. I'm like, honey, talk to the neighbor. I'm going in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, go talk to me. I'm like, I'll
I-
give you
I
50
grab
bucks.
me and
She's
be
like,
like, you
okay,
go talk to him. I don't, you talk. Go. You're better at it.
I'll give you 50 bucks if you talk to me.
I'll give you 50.
Whatever you want. You want your nails done? I'll clean your hairbrush. That'd be a good one.
My thing is when people knock on the front door that selling shit, even though they're not supposed to, because HOA subdivision and no soliciting and all that shit, they don't care. Though I'm too nice of a guy, so I'm like, go. My wife will go out there and be like, nope, goodbye. Just
You're that guy that the Kirby vacuum cleaner guy comes in and then takes like 1,500 off you after an hour long brochure.
Right. And you're like, if I don't buy it, he's not gonna make any money. I feel
Right,
bad.
that poor dude.
I actually sold Kirby vacuums. That's funny you said that. Well, I kind of.
So my mom bought it. It's a funny story. I found going through my mom's stuff, and in a shoebox, she kept the receipt for the Kirby. In 1987, they paid $1,278 for a Kirby vacuum cleaner.
In 1987,
I'm
wow.
like, what the? My dad must have been high because he never spend money like that, unless it was a vet or a Mustang or something, but not a vacuum. Not my dad.
Dude, I remember that vacuum though. You know why? Because when we were hanging out back then, because we would have been like 10, 11 years old. You weren't allowed to leave the house unless you vacuumed the family room.
I know.
I remember that every time. Be like, oh, I can't go until I vacuum, and you pull that Kirby out.
My kids don't know what it's like to have an all tile floor, like a mosaic floor, and have to get on your hands and knees with like a toothbrush and
Come
scrub
visit
the
me,
grout.
man. The
I
whole
have
house
no
is
idea.
tile.
But like now that mom's gone, she did me right. But while I was alive, man, she made me a man. My dad, they made sure I knew how to work. So I give him props for that, even though I hated it at the time. It made me have a work ethic, and I don't care. Like if I'm working with a crew, I'll get down with the crew and work with the crew. I'm not above them. Like I'll get down there on my hands and knees and still work with them.
Yeah, that's a good leader. There's a difference between like a leader and a boss. You know what I mean? And that's what leaders do.
And people that respect you work harder, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think most just men in general, like men would prefer to have respect over liking. Like I think a lot of men prefer respect over love. It really comes down to it. I mean, I do. I'd rather be respected than loved. Honestly, it's like a huge issue for men.
100%. Yep.
Well, being respected feels like love to me.
Right. And that's true. If you do respect someone, if a woman respects her husband, then she loves him. If she doesn't respect him though, does she really love you? Maybe she loves you, but she probably fell out of love with you though, if she doesn't respect you. Right.
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
You know that and probably only guys, I don't know how girls feel about this, but like when the manager of this big building hands you a set of keys because they trust and respect you, and you have the keys to everything nobody else has, and you just feel this certain pride and beautifulness about being trusted and respected.
Yep.
I've been in that position many times. I don't know how women feel about it, but there's nothing like it.
Yeah. And that's like a lot of times, like on my other channel, I talk a lot of relationship stuff, even though I'm the last person you should take advice from because, but anyways, like I study a lot of stuff, like social dynamics, and like women will say, oh, he doesn't do this or this and that. And like, the relationship's falling apart. And like a lot of times, like, especially nowadays, women in the West, it's like this whole feminism thing of like, I don't need no man type thing. And so when women think, well, I make my own money and I do this and that and stuff. And it's like, but like men don't really care about that. Like when you say like, I don't need no man, well, like it's hardwired for us to want to provide and take care and be the provider and the protector and stuff. So if you don't need no man, it's like, it's kind of emasculating. It's like, well, what's my purpose then? Right. So when you respect a man, like all you have to do is like, if he's outside working on, you know, his Jeep and he's doing something to his bumper, and like, you just go out and say, oh, that looks really good. That's really cool, babe. You did that yourself. Like just something little like that. Like he'll just, you know, get all happy and like, yeah, you know, like she recognizes that I did something, you know, like that's really all it is. It's just having that respect. And like, if you respect a man and you show that you respect him, like he'll go above and beyond to protect.
He'll give you anything,
you, right?
He'll give you anything, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, dude, that's weird because I think Dave was saying something very similar a couple of weeks ago. Like, if you, I don't remember how you said it, Dave, but similar, pretty much the same thing. But a guy will bend over backwards if you do that.
Yep.
And we'll be loyal. I mean, not that we were not loyal anyway.
Appreciation and you know, like respect. I don't know. Saying respect to me sounds like you better show me some respect. Like, not like that, but
I like encouragement. I like someone who sees my goals and then pushes me toward my goals, and they don't let me off. They're not being stupid about it. But they're like, yeah, it's a teamwork, man. And what do they say? Behind every good man is I forget exactly, but it's a good woman, a strong woman. Yeah.
A woman can either make or break you, dude. Like you could be, you know, a successful man. You could be a high value man. You're a hard worker. You're goal oriented. You're a leader. You're assertive. All these masculine qualities, and you can align yourself with a woman. And if she's a good woman, then you're already good by yourself. But if you have a good woman, she's going to make you even better. But if you align yourself, you're already have these qualities, and you align yourself with a low value woman that's nagging and that's, you know, putting you down, and that's just like a taker and never gives. Like it will destroy you, dude. Like it'll break you. Fuck off your whole life, man. Especially if you don't get rid of her and you just like try to stay, you know, like a man will just, he'll go broke. He'll just be miserable. So you got to be careful with that, man.
I mean, look what happened to Bill Clinton.
Sorry. Right. I agree, Snooks. You got to earn it. Yeah, you got to earn it. But when you do, you know, when you do earn it year after year after year, you know, it's like, give us some respect a little bit. But I mean, I know there's women out there pulling men along too. It's not just like the Bash Women show, but this is just things that we grow up. This is ingrained in every man. This is not like some sort of toxic thing that we're doing. This is just what we feel is supposed to be what we're supposed to do in life, is to take care of our women.
See, like when a woman makes her own money and, you know, has a career and stuff, she thinks, yeah, I'm independent now. And when a man makes money and has a career, he thinks, yeah, I can take care of a family now. Right. Exactly. It's like two different mindsets that we have, you know? And so like, that's why women are kind of baffled when, you know, I make my own money and I'm a boss bitch and I do all this stuff. Well, when you have that though, that's great if you want to do that. But, you know, women, you got to understand that's not really attractive to us though. Right. Like, that's why you see men that will date, you know, bum McDonald's workers and stuff like that. Cause we don't really care about that stuff. We're attracted to femininity. Right. And like when you're a boss bitch and you got, you know, a career and, you know, you're an executive at your company or whatever, that's fine. That's great that you can do that, but that is masculine traits, right? If you're a leader and you're goal oriented, these are masculine qualities. And so like men, we're not attracted to masculinity though. We're attracted to femininity. So they wonder why you're not attracted to me when I have all this stuff. Well, you know, that's just not what we look for. You know what I mean?
Here's something I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about this. Have men been just so bad lately that they just push women into these femininity roles where they're just like, I just can't count on a man, so this is just what I got to be? Or is it? Go ahead.
I think it might be part of that. Like,
or
we are like a really soft society right now. You know what I mean? And it might be part of that. And then it's just like societal norms and the way, you know, society is teaching women now, like that you don't need a man and all that stuff. And I think it's just social pressure is what I think it is.
Oh yeah, look at Blue. There you go. Bossy people in general. It doesn't have to be male or female. Like I tripped out the first time I heard Miley Cyrus, that Flowers song. I had to listen to it a couple times. It was like, I can buy myself flowers. I could take myself out to, and it's like, yeah, but aren't you going to be lonely as hell? I was just thinking it.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's the new thing they're pushing out is like, you don't need anyone else. It's just all about you.
Well, like you're talking about like that men are attracted to feminine women, right? And it's like it goes both ways. Like women are attracted to masculine men. So, like when women say, well, I don't know why he doesn't like me, I just can't find a man. Like if you look at these women that are single, like they're, like I said, they're executives and got their own career and stuff. Well, that's a masculine trait. So like think about it yourself as a woman. Would you be attracted to a man if he took longer to get ready than you do, right? And he's just really emotional and cries. Not that there's anything wrong with crying if you're a man. I'm just saying, but like he cries all the time or whatever, like would you be attracted to that, right? Like no, you'd probably be turned off by it, right? So same thing,
That's a good point. I'm laughing because it's like, think about it. That's so true.
Yeah.
I would love to know what women these days really, if you boil it down, what do they want from a man? Like if you're taking care of the bills, you're taking care of all their needs, you're there when they need you, you'll talk, what do women need to be happy these days? Like what's their idea of a perfect man?
Yeah.
Because I don't know the answer anymore. I used to think I knew the answer.
Well, a lot of women, they kind of have like, that's why like dating apps are kind of stupid, because dating apps are for women and they're for women and like super high value men, right? Because the average guys, they don't get any swipe lefts or whatever it is, because these women, like you always align with your counterpart, right? So if you're a 10 as a man, you're going to probably end up being with a 10 or a 9 or something like that. If you're a 6, you're going to probably get like a 5, a 6 or a 7, right? Everyone aligns with their counterpart. So these women, they think that they're like a 9 or a 10 because maybe they had sex with some guy that was a 9 or a 10, right? And like just because he'll sleep with you doesn't mean he wants to marry you. And so then now they have their expectations way up high, and you got to be, at least 6 foot, and you got to be, you got to make 200,000 a year and like all this stuff, right? And it's like, well, you know how percentage of the population that's above 6 foot makes 200,000 a year and like 6-pack abs, like all this shit. It's like, dude, that's like far less than 1% of the men. So they see like a guy like me, I'm 5'7", like they're just gonna not even bother. Like it's only for. So that's what I'm saying. And it gives them this fake impression that they are a 10, they can get this high value man. So then they just turn down all these other men, you know what I mean? And then now they're like in their 30s and they're still single and they're like, I don't understand why, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, maybe just lower your expectations. You know what I mean? Like stop trying to go for the top tier man. You know what I mean?
Well, and then here's the thing with the top tier man. This guy who's a top tier man is devoted to his body, devoted to his job. He's devoted to
not her. Yep.
Exactly. He has confidence. He doesn't need you to live. You are an addition to his life. And if it's not,
besides that top guy, it's like whatever happened to falling in love because of because of them, not because of what they have,
What was that? I think it was it Chris Rock or something? It's like, whatever happened to just falling in love with a brother with a bus pass, right?
Come on, man.
It's like, it's true, man. Like, cause that's what the parents teach them. Go out and get yourself a man that can buy you something, girl, that can take care of you and blah, blah, blah. I think it was, who was it that said that? No, it's tip of my tongue. It was on the Chronic 2001 album. Whoever that comedian was on there. You guys remember that? The Chronic 2001, the Dr. Dre album.
God, my brain's
I remember that album. But
somebody in the chat, throw it in there if you know what we're talking about.
I remember that album. I don't remember.
But yeah.
Just remember at one time, Diddy was that top 10 tier dude. Everyone's quiet now. Do you remember the baby oil? Anyway.
All right, we
got a beep.
We got my Oh wait, she disappeared. Because one of my top mods is female, and I love the chat. I love my chat. And she said, I think it'd only be fair if there was a female up there
Yep.
to talk about at the same time. So I couldn't ignore it.
I wish I could get Indy up here because I want to know.
This is Snooks. Indy knows how to get
Hi.
up here. Indy knows
Hey
how to
there,
get up here.
Steve. Hey there,
Hey,
Dave.
Snooks.
And
Hey, hey.
D.M.A. Do you just go by D.M.A.?
Yeah.
That's
Okay. I want to debunk some of these female things that you're putting out, D.M.A.
uh-oh.
That women are looking for men with money and that's how their parents have raised them. Did I get that right? Like, I'm not coming in to attack you.
I think that I'm not speaking of all women, but yeah, I think that
No.
if you ask, let me answer the question. I think that if you ask a woman, what she wants in a man, she's going to say, taller than me, or stronger than me, makes more money than me. Women usually want a guy that makes at least equal money to them or more money than them. They don't want a guy that's going to make less money than them. That's another reason why these women that have these great careers can't find a man, because they want a man that makes more money than them. And there's not that many men that make a whole bunch of money like that.
Okay. I'm going to say this. I think you're making a huge generalization. And I kind of think that applies to younger women who are shallow and don't have a good level of maturity in them. So that could be true for some of the younger women. I'm not a younger woman. I've been married, got divorced. I don't care about money. I care more about companionship, intelligence, a good heart, honesty, loyalty. That's what's going to appeal to me. It's not even the looks. I could care less about the looks.
And that's why everybody loves you, Snooks.
Well, wait.
Yeah.
But
No,
if everybody was Snooks, the world would be
No.
a better place.
I ain't buying it. I'm not buying
No,
it.
that's the way I was raised, Dave. I'm telling
I'm
you.
not buying on looks don't matter at all, though. I can't buy
Listen,
that.
no, Dave, my mother was absolutely gorgeous. Blonde hair, blue eyes. My dad was not that good looking. They fell
But
in
he
love.
wasn't butt ugly to the Elephant Man, though, right? It
Well,
does matter some.
I'm not going to ever say he was a handsome man.
Okay.
He
Well,
wasn't. He wasn't. And as far as heights, I'm a little under 5'4". So if a man is 5'7" and over, I'm happy.
Well, you know what? That's great. And you said I'm making a generalization, and I agree that I am making a generalization.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that all women are like this, just like I'm not saying that all Mexicans like beans. There's maybe some that don't like beans, but you say most Mexicans like beans, right? I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Guess what? I'm not Mexican. I like beans. I think that generalizing things, throwing, certain things at certain races or genders, it just doesn't make sense to me sometimes.
Well, I mean, it's a stereotype. I'm just saying,
and you got to remember we're
I'm
all in
Spanish,
different.
and I grew up on beans and rice, beans and green chili. It's like most Mexicans like beans, right? That's what I'm saying. Not all, you know what I mean? Maybe not all women like yourself. Clearly,
Yeah.
money's not
And
an
there's
issue, or somebody that's good looking is not an issue. And actually, I think for the majority of women, the vast majority, looks really aren't an issue for women.
Yeah.
Like
But there's
they
a
might
lot of women
want a
out
guy
there.
that's super good looking, but what a woman says she wants and what she responds to are two different things. So oftentimes women will, as long as you're well groomed and you take care of yourself, that's all you need. But women are more attracted. They may think they want a guy that's, all these dashing good looks, but generalization, maybe not you, most women, in my opinion, they are attracted to men with status. Either they're the tribal leader or they're the tribal leader's friends, because it ensures their survival. Just like in tribal times, 99% of the human existence has been in 50 to 100 people tribes. And in tribal times, the women would align themselves with the highest value man they could to ensure their survival. And today, since we had this population explosion within the last few hundred years, we haven't had time to evolve. So our brains are still like caveman days. So women today will align themselves with the highest value man they can. It's not who can pick up the biggest rock. It's, who has this career, they can take care of them, ensure their survival of her and her offspring.
Very true.
I know a lot of women like me. I'll just put it that way. And we can apply it to men too. Men go for the arm candy. Men can
don't.
have, well, no, yes,
Right.
yes, you did. You
No,
so
we
did,
don't.
Dave.
I
We
Oh,
don't,
look
but
at you.
I
no.
I've
mean,
seen your wives.
she's hot, but I'm just saying. That's not why I went after
What
her.
would you
Okay,
say?
but
Arm
I'm just,
candy? What's arm candy?
well, they
Good looks.
good-looking women,
Oh yeah, I would agree with that. There's two
nice
things that
bodies.
human beings are attracted to in a potential mate: survival value and replication value. Men bring survival value, which is leader of men, protector of loved ones, goal oriented. Right? These are leader traits, survival traits. Men aren't really attracted to that. Like I was saying, like men don't care as much about a woman's career. They're attracted to replication value, which is something that he can pass his genes down to that is going to be a good fit to ensure the survival of his children, have healthy children. So that's like youth indicators, health indicators. These are things that men are attracted to. So not all men too, like I'm saying, but like, I don't have to have the most gorgeous woman, like personality does go a long way with me. This is a generalization and I don't even fall into this, but that's why you'll see a lot of men who will be dating like this girl who's not really that smart. She's kind of, she's kind of a dummy, but she's, drop dead gorgeous, right? That's why you'll see that men will date women solely for their looks. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, I agree with it too because I see it all the time, and it shit drives me nuts.
But that's a take it or leave it woman, right? That's not like a lifer woman, the one on the arm candy.
Well, I mean, and then sometimes the guy is just too stupid to realize that he's stupid too, and he just wants to have someone, so he's like, she's hot and she's dumb, but
It depends on how old the man is and how close he is to the grave with his foot. Sure, it could be a lifelong thing if he's close to the grave.
You see it all the time. You see old men like 80 with a 50 or 45-year-old girl on TV.
with a 29-year-old wife
And
saying,
guess what?
"No, it's
That lady,
pure
that
love."
24-year-old supermodel who's dating that way older guy, older guy doesn't work at McDonald's, right? If he does, he probably owns like a franchise of them, right?
Okay, but I want to say, you talked about replicating, and I know a lot of men think that way. There's a lot of women who can't have children. I'm just going to throw that out there.
And again, I said that, like you said, it's a generalization.
Yeah.
Sweet Tea, she can't have kids either. So yeah, I mean, this is not one.
Yeah, I
this is
couldn't
not the
either.
same for every single person. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we adopted our son. We adopted our son, but it turned out great. I mean, I have a son I adore. So,
well, nobody fits in the same box. Not everyone.
No,
Absolutely.
absolutely. But I also know that there's men out there who don't mind getting a kegger for a stomach, but they still want their women to have fine bodies.
I have seen a bunch of that.
And yeah,
married to one.
It's crazy. Actually, I was watching this show. Have you guys seen that guy? He's a divorce attorney. And he was saying the craziest thing that I ever saw in a prenup was this man. He was super multimillionaire and he had this beautiful, and he was older too. And he had this super beautiful, gorgeous wife. And part of the agreement, clearly she was marrying him for the money. And part of the agreement on the divorce thing or whatever is if we get divorced, she's going to get alimony or whatever. It was like $40,000 a month. And they took her weight like on or around the wedding. And like for every 10 pounds she gained when she filed for divorce, she would lose like $10,000 in alimony.
Holy crap.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So you can see there is like strictly dating you for marrying you only for your looks. That's it. And she was marrying him only for his money.
That's ruthless. But talk about a fucking prenup. Holy shit.
That's crazy prenup, dude.
So wooed.
That's a businessman. That was a businessman for sure.
I applaud the dude for at least being honest, though.
Yes, me too.
Well,
I
because,
would never do that, but I do applaud him for being, hey, this is what it is. And she was
smacking the crap out of that dude.
Well, he was being honest, but what was she doing any different? Because it was obvious she was doing it for the money.
Exactly.
So it's like, all right, I'm just calling you out.
Yep.
Because I know you're doing it for the money.
It might not work for me or it might not work for you, but it worked for them. And so if it works for them, then that's their thing.
I believe there's a lot of couples out in Hollywood right now that are together that are just partners.
Yeah,
you could see it just in body language,
I'll tell you, I dated a lot of pretty boys, and they actually took more time to get ready than I did. And when we passed mirrors, they were looking in the mirror, not me. So I'd never date a pretty boy again. My
Next,
values, as far as just a minute, Mr.
were they
Dave.
chopping their breakfast on the mirrors? That's all I want to know.
Were they what? Their breakfast on? What does that even mean?
That's a Metallica song about
I
cocaine.
don't know.
Just asking.
I'm just saying that my values about men have certainly changed. I was married to a 6'4" gorgeous man with blonde hair and blue eyes. Did it make him a better man?
So why did
No.
you let that one get away? I'm just wondering.
I didn't let him get away. I lost respect for
Yeah.
him.
Well, so you
You
said
lose
that
respect, you lose the love.
But
you
what
said
did he
you lost.
do? I'm just interested in what did he do to lose respect?
Yeah, that's
Um,
Good.
he was not protective with his family towards me. He would not ever stand up for me.
Oh, okay.
He just, I mean, it was a number of years where I would come home and say, "Why didn't you stand up for me?" He'd go, "Oh, I didn't hear it." Well, he was right there in the room, and his sister or his mother were saying it right to me in front of him.
Mm,
So don't tell me you didn't hear it.
okay.
So you lost attraction for him because he was not a protector, which is a masculine trait, which is, I
Yes,
said, what women look for. And also he
absolutely.
took longer to get ready than you, right? Which
No,
again is a
he didn't.
feminine trait. So
No,
so
he
you're
didn't.
admitting, so you're not attracted to feminine qualities, which would be that he was a pretty boy, took longer to get ready, always checking himself out in the mirror. Women
No,
don't like that. Like that's not attracted to them, right?
no, the ex didn't do that. He
Oh,
just had other bad values,
but
which
he
were
wasn't
not
a
valuable.
protector, you said, right?
No, he
He
was
didn't
not a
stand up for
protector. I
you.
was more of a protector than he was.
And so, yeah, that's most women aren't going to like that. And like a lot of women, sometimes they think that they want to be like the protector and all that kind of stuff. And like the alpha of the relationship, so to speak, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And like, because that's just their personality. They're like leaders and, they're like that, but they might think they want that. And maybe it works for some relationships, but from a lot of the research I've done, eventually what happens is they think they like it, but then they start losing attraction because they are the leader. And like, this guy's not protecting, like you said, and doing those things. So then they'll end up just getting bored and they leave. And as soon as they find some man that actually is more alpha than their husband, right? That is the protector, is all of these qualities that you're talking about. And they realize they don't really want to lead the relationship anymore. And then they'll just leave you.
I am an alpha female, but I want to be with an alpha male.
Right.
And I want the alpha male to lead.
But I find
Good.
in
That's
women,
something that could work. I
Yeah,
think.
exactly.
in younger women, what I see is that they all want a bad boy until they figure out he's bad, and then they want to go to the other dudes that were way better than the other guy to begin with, but they overlook them.
Yep.
well,
For
no,
a
they want a bad
stereotype.
boy, and then they get the bad boy, and then they try to change the bad boy.
Oh yeah, into what their mold of a man is, which is what the other guy already is.
Right back.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, I dated bad boys too. They were fun, but that's all they are. They're just fun because they're bad. I dated pretty boys, bad boys, bikers, musicians, just, a gamut.
All right, Snooks, we're gonna keep count. All right, I want names.
Plethora. No. Let's say that I did what a man would do, but I would
Say
have
hi.
looked down. Then I would have been looked down upon. Okay, a man gets patted on the back, a woman gets called a slut. Hi
Shout
there.
out to Migs.
Hey, Megan. Aloha.
Hi,
Oh, she can't hear me.
Megan.
So,
Oh,
No, it's okay.
okay.
It's loud.
She can hear you. All right. See ya.
Bye.
Love you.
Love you.
She just want to say hi.
Is that
She
your
heard?
daughter?
Yeah. Yes, you can't date her, you scumbag.
my daughter just
I'm
graduated.
kidding. You can't just marry her. No.
I don't think I told you yet, Dave. My daughter just graduated and she's going to Indiana.
Wow.
She got accepted in Indiana, or I don't know. I'm like, why Indiana? There's nothing in Indiana. Indiana sucks.
She'll get a corn-fed boy.
I guess it's not in
Oh.
Detroit, so that's got to be better. So
Corn-fed beefy boy. That's not so
She'll
bad.
get herself a Brett Favre. Or is that too old of a reference? Everyone got quiet.
I don't know.
Brett
I don't know.
Favre.
I know who Brett Favre
Brett
is, but I
Favre.
don't get the reference.
Oh, old country boy, tough
Oh,
country
okay.
boy. That's all. Took a lick and got up. Type deal.
is Faith? What's up, Faith?
So what were you saying? Sorry, I can't. What was your name again?
Who, me? I'm Snooks.
Snooks. What were you saying? Something about women get called a slut or something?
Well, because if a woman does what a man does, if she's like younger and she's dating a lot of men at different times or a couple of men at the same times, she gets called a slut or a hoochie, but men get patted on the back and they say, "Oh yeah, you go, dude."
Well, there's
That's
a
true.
reason for that. It's because it's so much easier for a woman to have sex with a lot of men if she wants to than it is for a man. Even if you're a high value, good looking man, a woman could go out, even if you're just average looking, and you could have sex with multiple partners in a week. Because women, a high value woman is a woman that can have sex a lot, but she says no more than she says yes. And so like a man, we kind of just throw our hook out there and we go fishing and like we kind of take what we can get, right? The women though, they have more access to it. So that's the reason, like a man, in order for a man to sleep around with a whole bunch of women, he has to work for it. He has to have, status. He probably has to work out. He has to have, a good career. He has to have all these things for him to just be sleeping with women, all kinds of crazy. Right. So that's, I think, the reason why it's a man that can do that is a stud or whatever. And a woman isn't.
Yes.
And women aren't designed like, that's why women are 9 months. They can only get pregnant, and have children one time a year. And a man can, he can impregnate 10 women in a day. You know what I mean? So it's women are hardwired to not be kind of promiscuous. And I don't think that men should be promiscuous either. I think it's bad for society, for men and women to do that. And like, hindsight's 2020, looking back now, I'm like, maybe I maybe should have been a little bit more chilled out when I did that. But I think that's the reason why that double standard exists.
I personally think that women should be harder to get. They should play harder to get that because it makes the dude chase. It makes him act better. He doesn't just think you're a piece of meat he can get in a night. He's actually got to work toward it and maybe respect it.
I'm not saying I was
it's
slutty.
Only having a girlfriend that, it's only worth getting if it's hard to get, right? If she just gives it away to everyone, then it has no value anymore. So,
well, it does, but just not to other men, right?
Yeah, I mean, not for like wifey status though. It doesn't have value. Right. So, and then like, women say like, if you take, like I saw this thing, if I take this can and I pass it around and everyone touches my can in this group here, and then they hand it back to me, I would still take a drink, right? But if everyone in this group here on this panel took their finger and they dipped their finger inside of my can and then gave it back to me, I wouldn't want to drink it, right? It's like something about that. It's like, something's dipped in there. It's like inside of it. It's different. It's like psychological.
That is a gross analogy, but I liked it.
I'm not saying I was dipped a lot.
Well, it just all reminds me of, and you know what? I don't care about.
Not that you were speaking about me, D.M.A.
Copyright, but this is a short that's, I don't even have it posted. It doesn't, I think next weekend, or this coming weekend, whatever. But it reminded me of this when we were just talking about that.
At 29, which sucks. Like, I know why I'm single, because I always dress like I'm in a Pearl Jam cover band. What's up, everybody? Thank you for coming out. We are Jeremy. It sucks being single at 29 because it's like, which way do I go? Do I go older or younger? Like, I know 18 to 22, I know that's done. I can't fight in that weight class anymore. I can't compete. 18 to 22-year-old girls live different lives. They get things for being young and hot. They're like, I want to be on a boat. Then they're on a boat. Like, that just happens. Just manifests. What's France like? And they live there for 3 months, rent paid. Very frustrating. I just think I'm at a different stage in my life. I think right now I'd rather just try to bang a 47-year-old mother of 3 that can tell me what Zeppelin's like live. Like, that's what I want. Stories, history. I like older women. You can talk to older women. You can have deep conversations with older women. You can't talk to young girls. They changed language. They up the English language. They started abbreviating all of their words. It's a real thing now. I heard a girl once go, "Oh, that's delish." Where's the rest of that word? You know how confusing that is to be at a bar having a decent conversation with a girl, and she randomly turns to her friend and she's like,
I just got back from vacay. It was totes ab fab.
what? Did you have a brain injury? Why are you talking like that? If that girl keeps that up 20 years from now, all of her conversations are going to be like, Ratapa, Hasafa, Hana, Soho. And by the way, that is just me doing Jabba the Hutt in a bimbo voice. That's all that is.
That's
right on. Right on.
It reminded me of that. I think that one's posted next weekend or this weekend coming up.
It was good.
Yeah.
But that's the thing though, is like a lot of girls like that just think like, I want to be on a boat, and then they're on a boat.
That's true. Like women are born at the top of the mountain, right? Because like we're saying that when guys look for replication value, right? Health indicators, youth indicators. So when they're 18 to 22, that group range, you were saying, that's like when they're in their peak, right? So a woman, as she gets older, loses attractiveness, right? A man, as he gets older, the man starts at the bottom of the hill, and then when he gets older, he's on the top of the hill. A woman starts at the top of the hill, and as she gets older, she goes to the bottom. So like it's reversed. A man doesn't really get all of his value till he's like at least 30. You know, he's built up a career, he's got some stuff going for him, blah, blah, blah. That's what makes men attractive. So it's true. Like if you're an 18-year-old right out of high school or 20 years old, you know, like you don't have nothing, you can't go talk to those millionaires and go on the yacht with them, dude. Like, no way. They're like, we don't know you, bro. You got to have something to get on this boat. Right. But like the women can.
OMG. Can I interject in here? Women are not born on a mountain. I would never want to be put on a pedestal. I've been on a pedestal, and I told the guy, kick me off the pedestal. I don't want to be on your effing pedestal.
No, I'm not saying pedestal. I'm saying
no,
the highest value that a woman has is when she's younger.
Thing.
She starts at the top based on just looks alone. And then men start at the bottom, have to work their way up to like earn their value. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know where you get your ideas. I guess it's because you're coming from a male perspective and I'm coming from a female.
It's like us chasing people on the playground. Remember, we had to chase all the girls. The girls weren't chasing us.
I chase boys on the playground, just
well,
so I can get my ponytail pulled. I think that I mean, if you're looking at it from a male perspective, you're going to think all male. Actually, I like a man who is in touch with his feminine side. It's not that it makes him a beta.
Oh, here we go.
It doesn't make him a wussy, but a man who is in touch with a little bit of his feminine side, like when Steve talks and he talks real pretty voiced. Go ahead, Steve, do it.
Oh, stop it, Snooks.
Oh,
I'm on a live stream. Seriously.
This is for you.
What?
Gay!
See?
Doesn't that make you gay?
But no, but the thing it might be changing the subject, but because you said beta, and then we were saying alpha earlier, but nobody ever talks about Sigma?
Sigma.
Yeah, because there's Sigma, and that's where I kind of put myself, because I don't know, I suck at explaining shit, but everyone's always like either alpha or beta, and it's like, no, that's not the only two.
There's like 6 of them.
Right.
There's a whole bunch of those different personalities.
There's a mass.
There's actually betas. Like people act like betas. It's not even the bottom of the tier. Like most people are betas. Like I think like 35% of all men are betas. So like there's tons of betas that get married and.
Okay, what is Sigma, D.M.A?
Sigma, like a good example of a Sigma, they're kind of like an alpha, but they don't have to be in charge of everything. They don't have to be leader. They don't like love attention like alphas do. So a good example of a Sigma would be John Wick. Have you ever seen that movie with Keanu Reeves? He's like a badass, but he's kind of a loner. Like he's kind of quiet and keeps to himself, but he's like, he can be a badass if he has to. Like that's more of like,
he don't start shit, but he finishes it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But then, you know, got all kinds of different ones like betas, and you got gammas, deltas, all that stuff. And like, I used to kind of associate myself more as a Sigma too, Steve, but there's this new one that came out. I can't remember what it was, but I was really associating with that one. I have to think of it.
It's not a they, them, is it?
Not just betas and alphas.
No they, thems.
But hey, Snooks, you said that you like it when you're attracted to a man who can be in touch with his feminine side. And I'm just asking for clarification because you said that your ex, right, that he took like longer to get ready than you and stuff.
No, I didn't. No, I said he didn't. He was
Oh.
handsome, he was pretty, but no, he did not take longer to get ready than me.
Oh, okay.
I did have to pick his clothes out because he had bad taste, but then that's probably part of me being an alpha.
Yeah, see,
Um,
if you picked out my clothes, I wouldn't wear them. Just
I
saying.
have great taste in clothing. I bought all his clothing because I had good taste. I'll just say it. I kind of have a problem with men being broken down into alpha, beta, sigma, Freud, whatever the hell it is. I just like to take a man as he is and not really label him. But then again, I did say I like alpha males because those are the only kind of men that I can really be with that are going to be able to handle my personality. I'm very strong. I'm a very
Hmm.
strong woman. And quit laughing, Dave. I swear
Oh,
to God,
I'm
slap
laughing at
yourself for
Al.
me.
Al is hilarious to me.
Okay. I'm
Everything
a
he posts.
very strong woman. I don't have to have a man to have my back. I will have my own back.
But you just
I
said that you didn't like you lost attraction for your guy because he didn't stick up for you and protect you, though.
No, he didn't. But in a marriage, I do expect that. In a relationship, in a good companionship, I will expect a man to protect me.
You said you need
Am I
like an alpha
confusing
male
you?
because you need someone that can handle you.
Yeah,
So
I'm
like
hard to handle.
when I hear like a woman say, I need like a strong alpha man that can handle me. Well, like as a
Mhm.
man, like for my life and a lot of men, my particular life is I have police after me. I have, government getting warrants for my arrest. I'm going to jail. I just have a trial date now that I'm going to. I have all this stuff going on, all these responsibilities, and my life is stressful, right? And so when I come home, the last thing that I want to do is have to handle anything, right? Like I think for me, and I think probably a lot of men, what we find attractive is a woman who can be his peace and quiet, right? Like bring me peace, make me happy. I don't want to have to handle you. I already have to handle a bunch of other stuff.
I think I
Well
may not have
said,
said
dude.
that. I
Well
may not have
said.
said that right. And I do agree with you. I am a peace, I'm storm, I'm a calm port in a storm. And there are people who can back that up. When I say I'm hard to handle, it's because I am strong. I'm opinionated. I'm a leader. I'm not a follower. So that can intimidate some men.
Well, do you think it's intimidating or do you think it's maybe just annoying to men? Like I said,
If
like
it's
would you
annoying
be
to a
what
man, then it's
would
not
you
the
be
right
in
man.
because like those are all masculine traits, right? You're a leader, right? You're an alpha female. So like would you be intimidated by a man if he did take
Brandon,
longer
what's
to
up?
get ready than you and like he didn't protect you like you said and stuff like that? Those are feminine traits. Like
I
would you
wouldn't be
be intimidated
intimidated.
by that or would you just be annoyed by it?
I'd be disappointed.
Right. So maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe men aren't intimidated, maybe they're just disappointed.
Not saying men, I didn't say men were intimidated by me, did I?
Yeah.
I
You said
did?
you're intimidating to men.
Oh, I'm intimidating to
So
men because I'm strong. I voice my opinion. I'm not going to take any crap. I'm going to say what I want to say and speak up. So it does take a very strong man to be with me that is assured of himself and self-confident.
I think being with a strong woman like that is um, it's a good thing as long as there could be some type of, like you
compromise.
said, you
Man.
prefer a man to lead, right? So you need a
Hmm.
strong man, obviously,
Yes.
as long as you allow the man to lead, because like when men lead, they're leading because the woman is voluntarily letting them lead, right? It's not
Yes.
coercion on them. So as long as you allow the man to lead, if you trust his leadership enough to where if he makes a decision, then you respect that, then that could be something that worked.
No, I agree with that. I think trust is a very big thing and compromise. And I'm actually very, very feminine.
What are some
So,
feminine? Because you already listed all the masculine traits that you have. So what are the feminine qualities that you have?
well, I don't know if this is considered feminine. I don't swear. I don't like to argue. I wear dresses in the house all the time and sometimes when I go out. Um, I don't know. I just have more of a feminine ladylike attitude because that's how I was raised.
You said
I value a man when I'm in a relationship. I will spoil a man because what you do for that man, you're going to get back all in a circle.
I agree. Like we were talking about, like if you show
Yeah.
man respect and appreciation, like that goes a long way.
Absolutely.
And I don't know you.
Very,
but
very long way.
I don't know you, but like I'm just off face value of what you said. You said that a feminine trait or quality that you have is that you don't argue, but then earlier you said that I'm very opinionated.
I am opinionated. That doesn't mean I'm going to argue. It just means if I have something to say, I'm going to say it. I don't mind holding back. My dad was very opinionated, so I'm very much like him. I don't think being opinionated is wrong if you have good opinions.
No, I don't think being opinionated is wrong if you got bad ones. But
here's what I like about Snooks, because she is opinionated, but she's also very understanding. And I agree with what you just said, Snooks, because what you're saying exactly from what I see from it too, is that's exactly what you do. It's like if you hear something that you don't agree with and you feel like you need to say something, you will. Otherwise, you're just like, whatever.
But I also, D.M.A, I don't have a problem saying I'm sorry when I'm wrong.
That's good.
And I think that's very important.
Yeah,
I think
there's
owning
a lot of dudes that cannot do that.
D.M.A.
Well, and a lot of women. I think that owning what you've done when you've done wrong to somebody that you really care about, or even if you screw up with somebody you don't know, saying sorry, I just think it's really important to own what you do.
Just
and I
as
know
a
too
human
many people
being.
who don't.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Independent, many united. No, I'm not married.
I thought you were.
You're still with Sweet Tea though, right?
But you have a lady.
Yeah, I'm not married though.
It's a common.
Oh, but that's good. You have a lady.
Well, I mean, technically,
okay.
I'm not married either because I won't involve the government with my personal life. So,
hey, I love that, dude. Like, all getting married is like legally is saying, "Hey, babe, I love you so much. Let's get the government involved." Right?
Exactly. And
I agree
you can make vows and like give your life, and this is my partner for life without having
commitment.
Exactly. That's what we did and I'm so glad she felt the same way because she's already been married once before. I never have, and I never will. So it's like I'm not involving the government in my personal shit because what does the government do? They're not there to help.
No, they're not.
I will never get married again. I tried it. It's not for me. If I get into a really serious relationship, I would like to have a commitment ceremony before God because that's how I feel. And it only needs to be me, that person, and God. I don't need that piece of paper.
Commitment and settling down is better than getting married.
Well, in the old days, I don't think they had contracts of marriage today. I mean,
yes,
going
they did
way
in the
back,
Bible.
Going way back, I don't think.
But they did in the Bible.
Well, didn't they court like, and everybody in the town knew they were courting, and it was kind of like they're together.
They had to get married officially. I believe.
Yeah, government should not be involved in.
But I don't think government
They shouldn't. And here's a good reason. This is what, in my opinion, anyway, what I think D.M.A. because it's the same thing as like part of the First Amendment. Which shit! I just threw myself my fucking ADHD. Did you see? This is totally off. I'm gonna forget what I was gonna say. San Joaquin Valley Transparency's video the other day, and the cop actually knew the first 5 elements of.
No, I didn't see that. First time ever then.
I just watched it. Yeah. And I was like, what? And I stopped what I was doing because I listen to shit when I'm doing stuff. And I stopped what I was doing and replayed it like 3 times. And I'm like, holy shit, he did know. But he is like, the only reason he knew is because his daughter was whatever grade she was in like social studies or something. And he was helping her. So he was recently refreshed on it.
Yeah.
You know,
they should have to take a test and know that before they even become a police officer.
Right.
I agree with that. 100%.
I mean, I think for as much as police officers make nowadays, they should go to school for 4 years and get a law degree.
Right.
I mean, how on earth, why is it that the Americans are just okay? Because what you allow is what you teach. So all that we're doing as being docile Americans is just reinforcing this behavior. How can everyone just be okay with police officers having the authority to enforce the law, but not having the knowledge to understand the law? I mean, if they went to school for 4 years, maybe there wouldn't be all these civil rights lawsuits, right? It's not like they're like underpaid or something, dude. Like, they're making a lot of money, man. So they got great pensions and all that stuff. So,
Well, I don't know if you want to talk about it, Dave, but that's what Dave was doing because he, at one point in his life, he was going to become a cop, and he was doing it that way. He was doing it the right way. He wanted to learn it. He was going to college. He was learning everything.
I
And then
took
he
all the
realized,
government classes and everything, and then I realized how stereotypical. I mean, basically, on my 4th week, the sergeant came in and said, "We're looking mainly for 15 to 23-year-old black males because they do 70% of the crime. And if there's more than one in the car, it's basically you have to pull it over." This is what they were teaching me. It's like, just because they're black doesn't mean they're doing something wrong. Right?
Thank you, Dave.
But they
Thank
were
you.
teaching me stereotyping immediately, and I didn't like it. And then I didn't know if I could be a good cop, because if I were to be a good cop, I'd have to be a hypocrite. Because
You're too fair and you have too good of a heart to be a cop, Dave, and that's just the truth, and it's the best thing about you.
I would want to be a great cop, right? I would want to do all things right, but then what do you do if your friend smoked dope and you're arresting people for dope every day? Do you have to arrest everyone you know, right? Or you're a hypocrite.
or when there's other bad cops breaking the law, if
And
you
then-
say something,
yeah.
they retaliate against
Yeah.
you.
You guys know Ronnie Coleman, right?
Yeah.
The guy that Mr. Olympia and all that stuff is like, gigantic black dude. He was a cop. And I'm like, dude, how they don't do drug tests, I guess, for cops? Like, what would happen if that cop was in contact with someone, he found a bunch of steroids? They're illegal. Like, what does he do? Does he just, oh, it's all right, man, I'm gonna not enforce the law? Like,
Did
either
he
way,
take half of it and be
if he
like,
takes him into jail for having illegal drugs, steroids, then he's a hypocrite because he's doing them too. And if he doesn't and he lets it slide, well, now he's not enforcing the law, right? It's like either way, he's screwed. Like, I never understood that. How could you be a cop?
Shaquille O'Neal is a cop.
He is?
Yeah, he is. He's a cop here in Florida. He's a cop in a couple other departments.
well, they say that.
And it's not just an
O'Neal,
honor. It's go ahead.
He'd always dunk on them.
Yeah, Papa Romanos.
How can you be a cop at multiple
He's
I
not
don't
an
think it's
honorary
fair.
cop. He's an actual policeman.
Get out of here.
You said he at multiple departments?
Yeah, well, maybe it's just here in Florida.
He's not honorary.
I don't think he's an honorary cop. I don't want to say that I'm 100% right, though. But I have seen him in cop uniform. I have seen him go out. Not very much. But
You
I don't
imagine
think he's
getting
an honorary cop.
that dude walking up to you in a police uniform, like, I'm gonna need your ID, son. And you're like,
I'd say, don't worry about it. Just arrest me. I'm guilty as hell. I don't care what I did or didn't do. Just do it.
You know, I was thinking this too when I was in school to be a cop. I learned that I had to start in the jail.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know this, but like I was a year in, I was taking government classes and all this stuff, law. And then you had to start in the jail for 1 year.
Yeah.
And then they put you in Detroit. Like the worst. Okay, so how does this make sense to put a brand new cop who knows nothing
in the
and
hood,
stick him in the middle of the hood and try to deal with savage things that you've never seen before? Of course things are going to go wrong.
The only reason I know that is because a dude, I think we talked about this before, but dude I grew up with, I'll just say his first name, Tommy.
Yeah.
Turns out like we didn't talk for years, and like I just moved here and I was talking to my dad about him. He's like, yeah, Mr. So-and-so, Tommy's dad, was telling me about Tommy Bob. And I'm like, what happened? He's like, well, he was going to become a cop. And I was like, ah. And then he goes, but they have to start out in the prison. So you got to be like a prison guard for 2 years.
Which is like the most dangerous thing you can even do.
But Tommy even said after like 7 or 8 months, he was like, I can't. He's like, I'm done. He quit because not what he's seen going on with the prisoners, but what he's seen going on with the other prisoner guards and the abuse and the shit they did. Because he's like, that's not who I am. Like, these guys are just literally just.
And my character and my empathy would get in the way of me being a good cop, because I wouldn't be able to deal with that. If I saw a bunch of cops screwing somebody over in the jail, I'd be all up in there in their face and I would be fired. How fast would I be fired? You know what I mean?
No, you wouldn't be, because back to blue, because they
I wouldn't back the blue though if they were doing wrong.
If you were a cop, they got each other. That's what's qualified immunity.
Yeah, but Dave is an honorable man, and that's
That's what
why
I'm saying.
I have a lot of respect for you,
If you're
Dave.
being honorable, they would get rid of you.
Well, that's why I walked away
Yeah.
from it, and I
Who
had
did
a
that
lot of
happen
time
to,
invested.
D.M.A? Remember there was like a lady that pulled over another cop that was off duty in his own, and he was doing like over 100 on the highway or something, and she pulled him over, and then they made a big deal about it, and then she ended up getting fired for it, even though she's just doing her job. The guy was putting people in danger, and then she was getting death threats. And even when she moved, she was getting, it's just like, what the?
If you look at the like mentality, like it is a gang. If you go against them, like if you walk out on your gang or go against your gang, what do? They all gang up on you, right? Same type of thing here with police. And Dave, it's funny how you say, I don't think I could be a good cop. And when you say, I don't think I could be a good cop, what you mean is I couldn't be a bad cop, right? Because being a good cop means being a bad cop.
Unfortunately, in some situations, for sure.
Being a good cop to them, at least, means being a bad cop.
Yeah, and like telling on your brother, or then you become the rat. But what if someone's getting their face beat in?
Yeah.
For no reason, and I let it go. Then I'm a bad person, right? I'm the bad person.
Did you guys see that video on Facebook? I haven't seen it on YouTube because I don't know if they'll allow it, but I saw it on Facebook on a reel. There was a police officer in the jail, and there was this handcuffed lady that he was like escorting somewhere, and he like was grabbing her hair or something, and she was like, "Get off me," whatever, and like she wasn't complying, and so he took her and he threw her up in the air and like slammed her down on the concrete, and her head, boom, and she was bleeding all over and everything. And the other cops came over kind of nonchalant, and like you could tell he knew he messed up, and he waited for them to come, and he kind of backed up. But like stuff like that, man, like why didn't those cops like just violently arrest that cop right there?
Right.
That's crazy.
Like there's your criminal right there in front of you.
And if you want your respect back to the police department, that's what they have to start doing. When they see wrong, they got to stop it immediately on camera and reprimand these guys or arrest them or whatever it takes to get the respect back that I think they might have had at one point. But it's gone now. Go ahead.
But no, because a stream rises no higher than its source, and the source is the police chief, and usually the police chiefs are just as corrupt.
Yeah,
it's
a culture.
New guy.
It's a culture. You'd have to completely revamp it, start from scratch, or one good starting point I think would be in the academy, because in the academy I've had my attorney tell me, and I've had other police officers, former police officers, tell me that they ingrain it into your head in the academy that you could be unalived at any time. Don't let anyone walk behind you. Always watch your six. Like they just ingrain that it's so dangerous. And these
they make them paranoid.
In some of these incident reports, they literally believe this, even though it's not true, that it's common. They use it. It's common that police officers get ambushed and all this stuff. And it's not common. You do the research. It's not common. Like
I actually have that ingrained in me.
0.039% of officers get unalived, like on a traffic stop. It's not common. And so that's a good point. I think in the academy is to get rid of that culture, and teaching them to be afraid of the public that they serve is a good starting point.
I'd like to interrupt with something. You're making a very good point. Y'all are making good. Oh, did you want to show something first?
It's just like, I don't know, 20 seconds maybe, but I just want to show D.M.A this.
I do want to say, I do have a story to tell. I want to tell.
Okay, no, it's right after this. It's 100% Snooks.
Do a good job on that.
Appreciate you guys.
Real quick, I ask every law enforcement officer this one question. You can't answer this. It's not political opinion or nothing like that. Cool. 5 fundamental freedoms of the First Amendment. What are they?
Religion, assembly, press, petition, speech.
Fucking hell yeah. Please, hey, please tell me you learned it from San Joaquin.
My daughter is at social studies right now, and we're having her constitution test. And the academy, but that was the refresher.
So kind of cheating, but
hey, at least he knows it.
At least he actually knew it, because I've never seen a cop answer that question.
It kind of
Well,
totally made him lose credibility, though, when he said, "Oh, my daughter's in social
I
studies right now."
know.
Like, it's like, dude, you should just know this, bro. Like, you could tell he kind of
Right.
felt stupid when he said that.
Should,
Like, oh,
You
should be
shouldn't have
a
those
said it.
refresher. But
Can I
okay,
tell
so
my story?
Snooks.
Okay, thank you.
Snooks. I
Thank you,
want to
Stu.
hear Snooks.
What about the story, and y'all know about this, the cops in Memphis that took that poor dude, beat the crap out of him, and actually the owner of a Discord put up the unedited view of it, film of it. I didn't want to watch it. It's not something I like to see, but I felt I owed that man to watch it. And they got off. These guys were hired because they're thugs. And anyway, they had pulled this guy over. I think that he ran because he was scared because he knew he was probably going to die. Once they caught up with him, they were so angry, they beat him to the ground, kept beating on him. And I'm telling you, they beat him after he was unalived. And then you can see them dragging him across the sidewalk. Not one of those cops stood back, stepped in to help out.
See, that's evil, man.
And these cops got off. They were tried and got off. And it's all there in the video. This guy had no weapon. Beat the absolute unmerciful crap out of this man. Just broke my heart.
well,
You
Yeah,
know?
like I've had plenty of fights, and like after I knock somebody out,
It's done.
I felt bad. I wouldn't admit it, but I would feel bad. I wouldn't go for blood, and the more blood I saw, just be like go into bloodlust.
They were rabid, and there's been too many
Yeah,
cops
it's
of doing this kind
insanity.
of thing. And you know, there's just been too many cops of doing this kind of thing.
I
No,
have,
that's what I was gonna say. It happened, and that happens pretty much every day all across America. So not like every day in every city, but every day something like that is happening somewhere in America.
I have 2 points on that. So number one, that's a complete lack of empathy that they had. And so if you do the research, you can actually find that one of the professions in the United States that has the most narcissists or psychopaths in it is police officer. And the reason, I think, is also it goes back to the training, right?
And domestic
Because of
abuse.
the way that American policing is in the academy, they teach them, to be scared of everyone, and they have all this power and control over people. It attracts those types of personality types. If you change the training and change it to have empathy towards people and not power and control, those types of personality types won't be attracted to police officer anymore. What's his name? You guys know Detective Matt Thornton. He's got a big YouTube channel. He's a police officer, and he said that during some of his extended education, they asked him, well, what's the number one thing that you want to have to be a police officer? And he said, compassion for others. And the instructor basically mocked him and made fun of him in front of the whole class because he thought that he should have compassion for others. And so that's the culture that they have here in America. It's like, oh, you have compassion for people. Oh, look at this guy. And then the other part is that the jury found him not guilty. And I think that's just because we're raising a society of bootlickers that even when it's right there in front of their faces, they just think, you should just do what the police officers say and it's just respect the authority and blah, blah, blah. They are indoctrinated into thinking that they're infallible.
And the jury, not only that, but the jury could be intimidated by any repercussions that came out if they were to do anything to tell the truth,
Yep.
I want to say, so I want to ask you, D.M.A. I don't want to get the initials wrong. Anyway, I like compassion in a man. Is that considered too feminine for a man to have?
No, I think
Okay.
a good man should have compassion. Yeah. I mean, if you're a good leader, which is a masculine quality, a good leader has compassion, right? Like a bad leader would be a tyrant that has no compassion. And it's because when I say the men lead and the women follow, people get upset about that. And when I say that, I don't mean that women are the peasant, right? I mean the queen. The man's the king and the woman's the queen. So yeah, absolutely should have compassion. I think that's a good trait to have as a man.
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't want to ever be a queen. I don't want to be a princess. I don't know. I have an issue with that title.
Oh.
To me, God is king, man is man. Would I defer to them sometimes? Absolutely. But that's where I think compromise comes in. you know, and I know that relationships, you know, are 70-30, 60-40, sometimes they're 50-50. It just varies. But really compromising, talking things out. Don't just assume that, you know, you make plans and it's going to be okay with your mate. Talk about the plans. Unless it's spontaneous or surprise, and then I say go for it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. Totally.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. It is, you know, sometimes I think a good relationship is, you know, you try to make it, you know, 50-50 in the relationship, whatever your responsibilities are, whatever mine are. But, you know, let's say, you know, she's having a rough day and it's like, hey, you know what, babe, I only got, you know, 10% today. Okay, I pick up the other 90 for today. You know what I mean? Like, and then vice versa. If I'm having a rough day, maybe she picks up the slack, you know, that's.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
And that's called
that's a good.
compromise, and that's how you stay married.
Yeah, it is. Talking things out. You know, don't take your mate for granted. Don't assume that you're always going to have that person in your life. It's work.
Very
I
true.
think when you take somebody for granted that you love, or they take you for granted, it's just not going to work out.
Well, that's a lack of respect to begin with, right there.
Well, yeah, that's true too.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true too.
Here's real quick. Shout out to Brandon Mitchell. He just shared this for it's a quick short.
I got a question. Yeah. And I'm hoping one or both of you can answer it.
Ooh, okay. First Amendment. The 5 points of the First Amendment?
Yes.
So it's religion, speech, press, assembly, and protest.
No shit.
Holy shit.
Double fall.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Holy shit.
I watched
What was that,
guys.
guys? I'm just going to go ahead and delete my channel. We found one that knows them all without being coaxed. Holy shit.
I'm done. I'm going home.
Dan, did you study that just for YouTubers or what?
No, man. I was going to go to law school. I got lost on the way there. And ended up here.
Did you know them all?
I didn't know all of them. I'll admit I didn't know all of them.
So the people in the chat want me to inform you that you're going to have to forget at least two of the 5 if you're ever going to want a promotion. Oh, shit. I got a question.
True.
That's good, dude. I like that. See, that cop, he was better than the other one with San Joaquin because he just knew it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The guy with San Joaquin, he basically admitted that he didn't know it, but I didn't. I watched Midwest Accountability. I can't believe I never seen that. Thank you for sharing that, Brandon.
Yeah, thanks, Brandon. He knows everything that's going on with every auditor. He's your go-to for all the new and upcoming stuff that's happening.
So D.M.A, what's going on with your? You said something about having a case coming up. Is that against?
I got
department.
I'll just say briefly that it's an obstruction charge. I have a video on it. It's one of my most recent ones. I got arrested for obstruction. Basically, they got a warrant for my arrest.
Is that the one where you were in the street and they said you were obstructing, but you weren't?
Yeah, I'll tell you the name of it in case anyone wants to, but I don't really want to talk about it too much because there's a protection order. And so like, I don't want them saying that I'm, you know, harassing or intimidating, you know, all that kind of stuff that they do because they're looking for anything to hem me up. But there is already a video that was up. I'll tell you guys what it was in case anyone wants to go watch it. Let me see. It was one of my most recent ones. It's called
Shooter Vibe.
Cop Gets Physical with Auditor Arrested for Filing a Complaint.
Oh yeah, I watched that.
I think I watched it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that one's set for trial, so we'll see what happens. I'm hoping they'll just drop it before we get
here's the link for that video that he's talking about right now. I just put it in the chat.
Thanks, bro. It's a good one.
Hey T, good to see you.
Tia, Nanas, what's up? Good to see you.
Nanas, did you say Nanas?
And Cheryl Rich is here, Blue's here, Steve-O's here, El Bundy.
I like that name, Al Bundy, dude.
I love it too.
Dude, that show, if that show came out today, it'd be canceled first episode. Like the way that society is now with the sense of humor, like it's totally different.
Isn't it crazy? Like things that were out in the late 80s, early 90s, which was completely normal. But if any of that shit came out today, it'd be like, oh, no,
There's a bunch of YouTubers now showing Archie Bunker little clippets and laughing at them now. Like
I should
Archie
do that
Bunker's
for
the
sure.
thing.
All right, you get 10% of that too, Dave. I'm gonna do one of those for a short. That's a good idea.
Yeah, 10, 10, 10, 10. It adds up.
Hey,
So
wait
only
a minute.
Vans and Archie Bunker.
When do I get 10% of the shorts you've made with my voice in it? Like you smoke
I
like a
already
girl,
pay
Steve.
you like
I think
I already pay you like $2,500 a month. Damn.
Oh no, you raised me from 0 to 0 plus. I am
Listen, you
content.
don't
I'm
need no
happy.
man. You don't need no man's 10%. You got your own.
Yeah.
What
You're a
you talking
strong,
about?
independent woman. You're an alpha female.
That's
I
right.
am strong, independent. I am alpha. Arr.
You have made it. You have
I
made
actually
it.
have a very soft, mushy heart.
Can I borrow
That's why
some
I have to
money?
be so alpha. I can give you $100.50. I give you $1.50.
Can you pay my light bill?
Oh, too much. Too much.
Nah, I love what I do. I love what I do modding here. I've known Steve for so long. I love Dave. And I have much respect for you, D.M.A.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I
I
think
have respect for you too.
I agreed with a lot of you that what you said. You know, I generally go on panels and I disagree with stuff and I don't mind speaking up. But I also come away learning a lot. And my mind opens up and sometimes I agree with what I may have disagreed with.
Yeah, I was gonna
I can
say
tell
you're
that about
open-minded.
you. I can tell that
Yeah.
about you. You do have an open mind. Yeah.
You have
So
to.
I
You have
appreciate
to.
that.
Yeah.
And
The
me
question-
too. And like, if anyone who has their idea set in stone is foolish, because if I did that, I'm always open to have my beliefs challenged, because when I'm trying to convince people of what I think's right, I want them to listen. So I'm going to listen to what they have to say. And if I thought the way that I always thought, I would still today think that cops are the good guys and government's here to protect you and all that kind of stuff. So got to always have an open
me
mind.
too.
There's always better ways, just because, tradition is no excuse to stand in the way of progress.
Yeah. And I certainly didn't mean to, sound like I was coming up to be, snarky with you at all. I just wanted a feminine view up here on, if you're going to talk about women, get a woman up here and let her talk about women.
Oh,
And
I
thank you,
enjoyed it.
Steve.
It
I
made it
really
better.
appreciate what you do. I'm actually going to
I
jump off
appreciate
now.
what you do, Snook. So
Well,
I'm not
I
gonna.
appreciate you appreciating me.
I appreciate you. Appreciate.
Oh my God.
That shit.
I still don't, though. I did ask a question earlier. What women are really looking for in a man or in a
I
partner?
told you.
Well, I got one answer though.
Well, you want me to act like I'm somebody else? You can have another one.
Yes, give me Christopher Walken voice.
I can't. No, you have to ask Steve.
Explain it while playing the cowbell.
Oh my God. We had so much. I wish you'd been in there, Dave. We had so much fun with Peanut's script last night.
Did you say
Rank
what?
was up there. Well, Peanut was on last night.
Oh, Peanut. Okay, my
And
bad.
he had written a
Yeah,
script, and
Nuthouse.
Steve was there, and yeah, Nuthouse, and Rank was hysterical. He almost couldn't talk. He was laughing so much. He did like 3 parts.
Sounds like a good time.
Dude,
It was a
fun,
great
man.
time.
It was, what made it the most fun is because I always forget about this because one, I was on someone else's panel. So like when you're doing your own live stream, you got way more shit going through your head. You're trying to pay attention to all this, and I can't multitask. So I was more relaxed, and I was, plus I was at work. And the one thing I did have in the back of my head was the customers right there, and they're probably wondering why I've been sitting in my van for so. And then I started walking around their backyard, and they're probably like, "What is he gonna fix the pipes, or is he? What the hell is he doing?" So,
Well, they already knew you were crazy because they listened to you talk under the house.
they heard me scaring myself about eyes in the corner and shit.
Right.
But, yeah.
I'm alone under here, I think.
Well, and Steve, I know you get nervous when you have to get under a house. It's
Oh, I'm
almost like being
claustrophobic.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
close. I'm claustrophobic too. So I'm glad that you were in the chat, and we all really appreciate that you were able to come up, and the chat was great. I mean, I had to mute my mic because I was laughing so much. Mick,
Dude, I had a
Mike.
blast.
Anyway,
I
yeah,
definitely
I
had a
had tears
blast.
coming down my face. I was laughing so much. So anyway, I am going to jump off. I'm going to go and do some things, but thank you for sending me the link and having me up. It was very nice to meet you, D.M.A. You're like really interesting. You have a lot of good things to say, and my mind's very open. And I can say I agree with you on a lot of things.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate
You're
you
welcome.
too. Thanks
Yeah.
for the good conversation.
Yeah, I love good. I love good conversation. And Dave, you know how I feel about you. You're a butthead, but I still love you.
That's right, Snookums.
That's right. Just don't ever change, okay? And chat, happy Sunday, and tomorrow, blessed Memorial Day. I don't like to say happy because so many had to die for our freedom, and freedom is not free. We still have those who will be dying for us. So when you're having your barbecues tomorrow and you're getting together as a family, which I think is great, take a moment of silence and remember those who died to give us this freedom.
That's right.
So, loves and hugs to all of you.
Bye.
Much love to you, Snooks, and thank you for coming up. You're always so good to me. Appreciate you.
Yeah, you're better.
I'm not so sure about like the men dying for our freedom, but I mean, I think that men definitely died for our freedom, like in maybe the Revolutionary War for sure, and I think the last war, in my opinion, that people were dying for freedom was probably World War II. But I think the vast majority of conflicts that the United States have been in are just, I don't think that the soldiers are protecting your freedom. I think they're really serving the interests of the banksters and the war profiteers and the politicians. But
I agree with that because they're more
sure.
order followers. I think that a lot of them think that's what they're doing, but really they're just following orders and they're being lied to.
Well, whenever I hear people say like, oh, thank the troops for protecting our freedom, I always think like, how many freedoms do we have to lose before we stop thanking the troops for the freedom? Because I mean, these brown people in third world countries, I don't think they're taking away our freedom. I think it's our own government that's taking it away. So, like if there was, these Iraqis and stuff were invading the United States, well, then they would be protecting our freedom. But when the United States invades other countries, I think they're the ones that are protecting their homeland. And yeah, sure, they're trying to take out some bad people, but there's a lot of these people that go overseas and they're just getting in firefights with like farmers, dude, who are just protecting their homeland. And I can't blame them. I mean, if somebody came over here in the United States and was bombing, my neighborhood, dude, and I lost my whole family, I mean, yeah, I'm going to fight back too. I think that's just natural.
Sure.
I can't blame them for that. So
I agree. I do agree.
So
obviously, a lot of it's about money and oil.
Yeah. Or
that's what I told my kids wanted to go enlist at one point, and I got stuff in the mail, and I was so mad. I'm like, what are you doing? And they were telling me why they wanted to go, and I'm like, yeah, but how do you know that's what you're actually doing? What are you actually fighting for over there right now? Is it really for our freedom? Because it don't look like it.
No. I mean, if you go in mass, if you go unalive, 10 people, right, you get locked in a cage for the rest of your life, if not unalived yourself, right? But if you go across to another country and you unalive a whole bunch of people because a politician told you to, then you get medals and you get a lifetime of praise, right? That's what you get, a bunch of respect. So it's just that we got to get past this mindset that people are so indoctrinated that these wars are protecting us, they're making us safer, when actually the CIA calls it blowback. It's where you create enemies faster than you can kill them. And that's a lot of what the United States does, because it's not really about protecting freedom, it's about power and control, right? And
it's about our interests at the end of the day, our interests in their land.
Yeah.
Whether it be oil or, like we just made the deal with Ukraine. Why did we do that? Because we like Ukraine? No, we need their rare earth materials.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason we're involved.
Well, if you notice, like all the countries that the United States had conflicts with, and see, you say we and I say they, because I don't like to be like the member of the collective and say we bombed Syria, all that stuff. I didn't. Man, that's them. They did.
I didn't bomb. No,
But
exactly.
That makes sense.
Good point.
But like if you look at all the countries that they had conflict with, they all didn't have the Rothschild banking system, right? Like Iraq, Afghanistan, North Korea were about to have problems with them, right? And then they don't. All the countries that they, within the last 20 years that they've had issues with, didn't have the Rothschild banking system, and now they do. You know what I mean? That's one of the criteria to start the new world order, the one world government, one world currency, is everyone has to be on board with the Rothschild banking system. And so that's, the next one I think is Russia.
I believe that's coming. That's coming soon, I believe. If you look at Europe,
about Trump, because he's a little bit anti-establishment, and I'm not a Trump supporter. I mean, I'm not a Trump supporter, or
I'm not nobody's supporter.
Harris supporter. Yeah, I mean, I don't believe in having rulers at all. But that's one of the reasons why everyone was so pissed off and up in arms, is because he kind of put a monkey wrench in their plan. Like they kind of delayed their plan. You know what I mean? So,
like today, I was watching the news and they called out the food industry and big pharma, and they're actually going after them hardcore, and going after these like red dyes and blue dyes and all this stuff that no other country uses in their food except us, because everyone else knows it's poison. So, but they actually are going again. That's why I like him so far. I mean, RFK, as much as I can't stand listening to him talk, he's actually doing something productive. So.
Well, dude, this is crazy to me. Real quick, what Nuthouse said about they knew about Pearl Harbor. That's crazy, because just yesterday I watched like 3 or 4 videos on Pearl Harbor, because I mean I live here. I live like just 2 miles away from where that shit happened back in 1941, and they let that shit happen because most of the people were against war and were like, just leave the war, just stop it. And then that happened, and then all those same people were like, go kick their ass. And now they're, just same thing they do today. They divide.
So one of the statistics really quickly today I was watching the news conference, and I guess 15 years ago, 1 out of every 10,000 kids got autism. And today it's 1 out of 31.
Yeah.
1 out of every 31 kids gets autism. There's something wrong, man. Well, be it our food or water, something in the air, something changed, and they say they're going after it. So I hope they're not lying. But isn't that amazing? 1 in 31, man. That's crazy.
I didn't know it was that much. Because last time I heard it was like 1 in 60 something, and I thought that was crazy. Now it's 1 in 31. That's so much.
But opposed to it used to be 1 in 10,000.
Yeah.
Jeez, fucking cheese and rice, man.
Yeah,
that's a huge jump. So where's it coming from? What changed?
Right.
Cloud seeding.
There's the one thing that I don't know if you really say use code words for it, but like all the shots that people get and stuff like that, that's one theory. But there's lots of stuff, like you said. It could be, fluoride in the water. Like a lot of Europe has banned fluoride in the water. It doesn't make your teeth better. I mean, I think the fluoride's good for your teeth, but brushing your teeth with fluoride toothpaste is good enough. You don't need to ingest it. And then most people don't even drink that water anymore anyways, so they should just get rid of it. It's not good for you don't need to have it in the water. It's a toxic chemical, dude. Like when they put it in the water, they wear hazmat suits, dude, like big old suits. It's a dangerous chemical. There was some doctor who was saying that no chemical causes cancer faster than any other chemical known to man than fluoride. So there's that. And then there's like the red 40 and the yellow 5, all that dye you're talking about, like Skittles and Starburst use, Gatorade. And then like the hormones too, like the GMOs and the hormones that they put in the dairy, like to beefing them up and stuff. And like that's why they say one of the reasons why girls are starting puberty faster, they think, is because all the hormones in the milk, because they're starting like super young. Some of them sometimes like 8 years old and stuff like that. Girls always start puberty faster, around 11, 12 years old, but like 8 years old, that's like insane, man. So that stuff's, yeah, it's just not good for you.
And that's part of like what I just seen earlier when I first woke up today is the RFK and how he's like other countries have all this shit banned in their country because it's not good for the people. Why is it still okay here? And so I guess he's like gonna be banning the same shit that's been banned everywhere else for decades. But for some reason they just let it keep going here. They let companies keep making billions of dollars off of it and using that shit in their product.
It's population control, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think someone said that in chat a little bit ago. But yeah.
Cheryl Rich says it calcifies the pineal gland. And yeah, so the pineal gland, it's a gland in your brain. It's responsible for a lot of things. One of the things it's responsible for is it's like your third eye, your intuition, right? And like these powers that be, they understand the way the universe works, right? All the people in charge, right? The multimillionaire, billionaires, politicians, they understand these immutable laws of the universe, right? And they don't want you to know, though. So that's why they do that. It calcifies the pineal gland. It kind of hinders your intuition, your third eye. And then another thing that does is it's responsible for like critical thinking, right? And it makes you docile and kind of just go with the flow. That's why maybe, like I said, that jury just found them not guilty. You know, they kind of just go with the flow and, you know, it is what it is. I know we're getting screwed over, but you know, what could we do? You know, like,
We're just
people. You are not the same man today that your grandfather was, right?
It's like we all got a lobotomy.
Yeah.
For sure. We're not
the founders of this country. I don't know if I said this last time, but the founders of this country would have been stacking bodies decades ago if this kind of stuff was going on, you know, but everyone's just cool with it now.
And that's all the programming. I mean, look at movies we were watching in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s that were back then. It was like, oh, it's just all made up. It's just a movie. But now all of that shit is true. It's because predictive programming, that's the word I was looking for. Because then, now it's in your head. So you already know, like, oh, I seen it in the movie. So then when it does happen, you're already prepared for it. You know,
it's like a psyop, dude. And Direct was talking about that. The show Cops is a psyop, right? So that you get people used to seeing this stuff and police slamming someone down and all that stuff, and they just think it's normal now. So
exactly,
like, life, no one does anything.
Agreed.
Exactly.
And you know, it's funny because, you know, cops, they always say that like you're obstructing from just like standing there. You're not even like physically interfering at all. But like I saw this thing, it was like, you know, they're shooting an episode of Cops, and the guy had the, you know, the big old huge shoulder mount camera, and he was like getting right in there, like right over the cop's shoulder. I'm like, dude, how that's not obstructing, right? But like some guy standing, you know, 30 feet away, obstructing, bro. You got to go on the other side of the street. Like, you know, it's so silly.
That's funny. I even put that in that one song that I sent you. It's it even says if he doesn't comply with my orders, or if he doesn't comply with I can't remember what it says now. I wrote this shit, I can't remember. But he's like, I'll arrest him for obstruction. So I tased him. And it's like, you know, it's like, but yeah, how do they 30 feet away, obstruction. It's like, dude, how are you, like, why are you paying attention to me? Do your job.
Oh, you made them nervous. That's what it really happened.
Yeah. Well, no, because again, like we were saying earlier, because they were programmed to always think that always watch your back. Always someone's out to get you. You make sure you go home safe.
Yep. They in their mind, they actually believe that the stuff that they're saying, they actually believe that it's common that police get ambushed and that they get attacked and all this stuff, bad stuff happens to them, when it's not. Anyone can just do the research, man. Because we hear that all the time. Do you know how often it is that police get ambushed and violently attacked and all this stuff? And you can just look it up. It's like I said, it's like it's 0.00039% of the time the police officers that happens, they get unalived. And actually, it's really the opposite. Colorado is the top 5 within the top 5 states of the United States of police brutality, excessive force. So you're more likely to be unalived by a police officer, like 8 times more likely to be unalived by a police officer in the United States than a terrorist. So
could you imagine if one would be great is if body cams could never be shut off or muted.
Yeah.
And everything was exposed to the public. Like like when CNN first went back in the 80s or 90s or whatever, when they first went 24 hours constant news, and it would just be police, like actual body cam footage, no muting, no nothing, 24 hours a day.
Well,
shit would change.
They don't. The thing is with the, and I'm sure they could figure it out, but I think right now it's the battery life situation that they can't. If they just leave them on for their whole 12-hour shift, I don't know if they last that long. Because I know, like, if you buy a body cam, like on Amazon or something, you get the same ones that they have, the Axon 3 or whatever. Like, they don't last for 12 hours straight, I don't think.
That's true. Yeah, even they're not body cams, but the smaller ones that I got, they're maybe like 2 or 3
Swap
hours.
out a battery, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, have extra batteries and swap them out, or like have an extra body cam, whatever it takes, and then this one's dead. Boom, swap it out, put the new one on. I mean, there's ways around it. They could do it. But yeah, the muting thing, like, they should never be allowed to mute ever.
Yeah, and they always mute at the most convenient time, right?
Yeah. Well, because like the law allows them in Colorado to mute during certain situations.
Well, when they're taking a shit, they got to mute.
Managerial discussion without citizens present, they can mute it. But why? They shouldn't be allowed to mute it. I mean, if you need to redact some information later to keep someone's private information private, that's fine. But they should just be able to. That should come on the post. It shouldn't come like you make it there on the street, you know?
Yep.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
Sometimes it may be shit.
I had to do it. My bad. I was thinking I wouldn't want my cam and my mic on if I was taking shit.
No, I just want to make sure if shit. Now I can't find it.
That's where they do their coke.
Oh, I just want to make sure if Creek Squad's still here. I got to do this.
Yeah, I did it for him earlier, and he goes, "I love that."
No, I seen that earlier. Yeah.
So, Dave, do you have like control too of the channel, like sound effects and all that stuff?
Yeah.
You guys run the channel together like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
I'm more aggressive, I think.
Well, the funny thing is, we both have ADHD, so
right.
I'll show a comment and then show the next comment, and then like 2 minutes later, Dave will show the comments I just showed, and it's like, dude, I just showed those. You want to look? But then Dave will do the same thing, and then I'll show him 2 minutes later, and then he's probably like, I just showed, you know.
Just make Dave in charge of the comments alone, and then you just do the. You just.
I just say we're showing them double love when we do that. You got double love.
Yeah. I want to do that though. I got to make me up a little super chat thing. I don't really do that many live streams anymore to get super chats, but like channels and stuff.
I liked your live streams because I liked when the trolls came on because you handled them without getting upset. That was my favorite part. It's like,
me too.
Like, you're ugly. You're like, well, I'm not the best guy.
No, because you
have a good
smart
beard.
guy. I mean, you're a smart dude, and like when you had those vertical lives. And all the trolls will come in, like Dave just said, you always handled it really well.
I liked it.
The thing that I like to do with the trolls is you just own whatever they say, and then it takes their power away, right?
Exactly.
Like stupid stuff, like that's true. Like they'll be like, oh yeah, with your 2-inch dick or whatever. I'm like, 2 inches, dude. You're giving me too much credit, bro. Like I wish I had 2 inches, bro. I can just own whatever they say, and then like, what are they gonna say? It takes all their power away. So
2 inches. Thanks for noticing.
That would be like a blessing if I had that. Damn.
What's up, JM? Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, bro.
Brother over in Canada.
Well, I hope your shorts go back up, Steve.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. It's weird.
It's probably just a different location. And you didn't set that one up right ahead of time. You actually did that on the fly when you went live on the Big Island.
Oh yeah, that was literally. Well, let me think. Yeah,
So
on the fly, but I did it like a few hours before we went live. But
you set all your shorts like 2 weeks in advance, pretty much, right, to come out.
Oh yeah, I got shorts posted or scheduled to post all the way to like not this Friday, but the following Friday. So
and that actually helps the algorithm. So maybe you just fudge the algorithm a little bit. Okay.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Because actually, I did post another short while I was on the Big Island. Because I haven't done that in a long time. When you post a short from your phone, like the shorts you do, Dave, like in real life, like IRL shorts. And I haven't done that in forever. And I was at Black Sand Beach. So I just did a short like that. And I think it got like just under 500 views. But then all the other ones after that, and it's like, so I took that short down because I'm like, did that fuck up the algorithm?
You told me never to take one down, motherfucker.
Yeah, don't take them down.
You told me don't
Then
do that.
what that does is that tells, oh wait, he doesn't even like it, so I'm gonna not push it. And then, although I did take one down recently, but I think it's because it was partially blocked because the content that it was had like 5 views. I was like, oh, they're shadow banning it, so I just
Partially blocked, and that is true, Dave. I did tell you that, but for me, I'm thinking, dude, my shorts went from normally 300, 400, 500 views each to all of a sudden thousands to tens of thousands to 20, 30,000 to up to 2.5 million.
Put your time in.
And then I do a short that has nothing to do with all the other ones, and then everything just drops down. So, but
yeah,
I didn't delete it.
Niche. You want to stay in the same niche is the thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to be random and still be popular, but I don't know if it's going to work.
Because you have a set audience, right? So if YouTube starts figuring out, okay, this is his audience, and you put videos about this thing, and then you do something completely different, it's going to send it to that same audience that thinks that likes that stuff, but it's new and it's not the right audience for it, so it's not going to perform.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what I learned. Like, you know,
that's why I took the Black Sand Beach one down, because I'm like, this is nothing to do with comedy. Like, most people that are watching my shorts are probably like,
so, Steve, what on your analytics, how many returning people are actually watching your shorts? Is it like, because I know mine's only like 20%. Almost 80% of mine is always new. So, like, returning shit.
Yeah.
I guess that's the big thing, right? Is if everyone's coming back to watch.
Right.
I got 49.3 thousand returning viewers.
Well, that's almost 50,000. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I don't even have 9,000 subscribers, so
you're gonna pass me up. I would guess within a month and a half, you're gonna be way past me in subscribers, and I'll still be sitting here at 83 watch hours because YouTube hates me.
Yeah, that's silly, dude.
Did they hate me?
I
literally
said, you don't want to know how many watch hours I've had in the past 28 days then.
But I set up, literally, I shouldn't even admit this. I set it up. I set like 4 computers up at multiple locations and watched my stuff, and it still didn't go up.
Yeah.
I had family members watch it, and it didn't go up.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, dude, I even had views literally going away.
It's like, how does that
are
work?
views going down? Like we went to a parallel universe, and all of a sudden they're not watching it or something. It's crazy.
This one girl from the Philippines said, "You know why your hours are not what they're supposed to be?" And I said, "What?" She said, "Because of the name of your channel, Starved for Truth. They don't want you to tell the truth on here. That's why. Change your name. You'll be famous." It's like they pick and choose who they don't want you to speak. If you're telling truth, they don't want you to speak.
Yeah, could be.
Funny stuff like Steve, it's gonna blow up. But if you tell the truth,
yep.
And that's what I like about, again, like different audiences, right? Like I have the audience for my shorts. I want to get the audience for long form. And I love doing lives, dude. I love doing lives. This is like my therapy.
That's funny.
So and none of those people ever show up to the lives, because why would, I don't blame them. Why would you? Like, this isn't, we're funny and we can be funny, but it's like, no, I just want, I want a stand-up comedian to give me a quick joke to make me laugh.
Yeah, live streams are for like the diehards that just like your stuff. You know what I mean? So like people that watch my live streams, like if I'm doing a panel like this, you know, I get like maybe 10% of the views on a live stream that I would like a long form video. There's, you know, most of my watchers, they want to just watch the the full video, the action, get their adrenaline hit or their endorphin hit, and then they're out. But like the people that are like are diehards, you know, they'll actually be here in the lives. They like engaging in that stuff. Because like people that are watching your guys' live streams, like these shows that you guys do, the content is you, right? Like they like you and they like hanging out with you guys. So that's the content, right? So that's why they come in here. That's why I made my own. That's why, because I was doing like, you know, those mess around, like vertical shorts and stuff on our live streams on the D.M.A channel. And I stopped doing that because, like I said, you know, the niche is different, right? I don't want to like mess it up. I think I was hurting myself. So it was nice. I'd get, you know, hundreds and hundreds of people in there, but I made my own channel. That's why I made the Christopher Cordova channel. So it's like just for something completely different, you know, it's its own genre of like just kind of like this, like we're just up here chilling and talking and stuff, you know.
Right. Well, Pleasure, you got that other channel too, right? The I always forget the name of it. I'm subscribed to it.
Denver Metro Audits 2.0.
No, the spiritual one. The
Empirical Miracle.
Empirical Miracle. See, I never remember that, but yeah, because that stuff that's like the other half of my life that I'm always thinking about stuff like that. It's just, you know, like earlier you said, like a parallel universe, or you know, it's just, it's all in your head. It's it's only 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how do you react, you know.
Well, like I said, the powers that be, they understand the laws of the universe. That's what I mean. Like the laws of the universe is like kind of what the Empirical Miracle channel is, part of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's a certain way. We're in a program. Like even you know, scientists and physicists will say that this is more than likely a simulation that we live in. So there's rules to the simulation, right? And so it functions in this very specific way. And some people know it and some people don't. Some people are just living their life by default and they're attracting all these things because their life's on autopilot. They don't really consciously manifest things. They just manifest them on autopilot. So like I said last time, you know, once you realize that you have all of that power and control to create, then, you know, the sky's the limit, right? And before you do that, the limit's the sky. So they want to keep you that the limit's the sky. They don't want you to know. Oh, dang, you gifted 10, bro.
There's Dave. Hold on, I'm gonna play a quick shout out video for Dave. Thank you, Dave.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I like you got to play the other one, man. What was the other one?
The other ones are
hold on,
super chat ones.
Oh, sure. Hold on.
That's the only gifted membership one I got, but there's a huge shout out 20-second super chat one. I had a bunch, but I took them down because because I would get copyrights for them. That's why AI like Suno is awesome, because you can write your own lyrics and your own music and you can use it and not get a copyright for it. All the other shit I used to have, what the fuck did you just do, man?
I miss you. I miss you, brother.
Thank you, Dave. I miss you too, man. Shit.
Hi, Dave.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew this, D.M.A, but me and Dave known each other since we were like 9 years old. We grew up together in Detroit. So
hide it in the sock drawer, man. Don't let nobody get it.
I'll be right back, guys.
Well, all right. Now I gotta play the other one. I'm going to play the other one. I don't care if you like it or not.
Much love for the super chat. Super chat, super chat, super chat. Much love for the super chat. Much love for the super chat. Super chat.
Yeah. I like
cool,
that one. I like that one. What's up, Ken? Good to see you, brother.
Ken, Red Pill. Hey, what's up, Red Pill? Good to see you.
I know Ken doesn't talk about it a lot, but Ken's, I mean, I don't think I should say it for him, but I know he's been struggling a little bit with his health. So you guys could say a prayer for him. I'd appreciate it. I have been.
I know what he's going through too. I had similar issues that I'm lucky and grateful enough to be able to say I haven't had those issues in a little bit, but I know the issues that he's going through, and that shit sucks.
Oh, it causes anxiety, man, and all kind of stuff, man. I've been through it all.
Dude, it takes away your, like, it can take away your ability to do anything. Like especially for me, I have to be able to walk. I mean, most people, you have to walk, right? It can take your ability to walk. I got to be able to use my hands. And if you can't walk and it's hard to use your hands, how are you supposed to go and work and make money? You know?
And Ken, I'm seeing mine on the 16th, and I shouldn't admit this, but I already skipped 2 of my cardiologist appointments on purpose because I was nervous about it and didn't want to go. So I feel your pain, brother. Believe me. I know it's stupid. I know everyone's gonna be like, go, 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 but man,
dude, I can't remember. Did I tell you
I don't want to go, man. I've always been that guy. Like if I have cancer or something, I don't want to know.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I'm the same dude.
And I don't want nobody else to know if I had it.
But I can't remember, dude, if that was if I said this last time or if I just like held it back. But remember that doctor's appointment I had to wait like 4 months for?
Yeah. Is that what that sex change operation?
Yeah, you weren't supposed to say that part.
Oh, my bad.
No, it was for my I had a pimple. Yeah, that's what it was.
That's a herpy, bro. I'm sorry. Yeah, you go on Dr. Pimple Popper for that one.
Dude, that dude makes a shit ton of money off YouTube. That's crazy to me. That's disgusting to watch. But anyway, so no, I went. Finally, 4 months comes up, and I remember, I'm just gonna be flat out honest. Exactly what happened. I was taking a shit that morning, and I'm not a morning person. And I just woke up. I'm like, I'm taking a shit, and they called, and I never answered my phone, but it was them. So I'm like, that. So I answered, and that's why I remember that, because I don't answer my phone for one, but two, I was taking care of business, and they called. So I answered it while I was sitting on the latrine, and they're like, this is we're just confirming your appointment you have at 9:30 a.m. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be there. I'm getting ready right now, as I'm wiping my ass, bitch. And then she's like, okay, see you soon. And then I went and I parked and I looked all over and I walked around and it wasn't there. It just didn't exist. So
dang, dimension slip, bro.
Wow.
No, but no, I was at the right building. I was at the right place, but they never gave me an address. They just said, no, they said Queens Medical West. And you just go in the back and then there it is. And I went in and I'm like, there's nothing here. There's like not even anyone working here to where I can ask questions, you know. Walked around for 45 minutes. And then I never heard from him again. So I don't trust the doctor anyway. So I don't know.
Blue, you sound like a walking beat up something, dude. Damn. You're like a 1960s car.
Hey, Red Pill, I don't know you or anything, but with the name Red Pill, bro, you should, I think you are kind of new in this stream here. You should rewatch, because we were talking about earlier stuff, kind of like Red Pill stuff. So you might like it. We even had, what's her name up here? Snooks up here debating. It was fun. It was fun.
She took her best shot at D.M.A. and got floored. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Snooks. I know you're going to watch this.
Come back up here. Let me back up.
No, it was cool. I like those exchanges because it helps us understand each other more. That's why I asked the question. I really do want to know, what do women expect out of a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
No, exactly. No, that's the thing. Like I was saying about the doctor, there was no one there to ask, because it's like, how do you know anything if you don't ask? You know, if you just like assume shit, then what do they say about assuming things? Then you make an ass out of me, and you assume however that shit goes.
More Blue Unicorn. I love this guy.
You have to ask questions.
More. That's the real answer. What do women expect? More. Just kidding. I'm
More
kidding.
cowbell is what you need.
Cheryl, much love. Good to see you.
Yeah, oh, that's what I was going to say earlier.
You better post something soon too. I
Uh,
need some more posts.
Cheryl Rich is by far my greatest and best subscriber. I love Cheryl Rich so much. Me and Nina love Cheryl Rich so much. She's the best subscriber.
I got like 4 people on my Facebook, and she's one of them. I don't do the Facebook, YouTube, like
I don't do
interaction.
Facebook either. I don't do Facebook for the same reason I don't do shorts. Because I get sucked into that shit, dude.
Oh, it's bad.
Literally.
I do. I've been watching this channel called the Rabbit Hole, and it gets me every episode. Just like what were you watching before? The God, what is it called? The Wi-Fi files or the
Wi-Fi, the Wi-Files.
Wi-Files,
the
yeah.
Wi-Fi?
He knows
Yeah,
about my channel.
is that yours?
He's a subscriber. Yeah, he was in my
Oh,
chat
that's
one time.
cool. That's cool.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dude, that guy's cool as hell too.
I was shocked the other day. I looked at one of my shorts, and Flex Your Freedoms had liked one of my shorts, and that was the first time he had ever done that. And I just I haven't seen him in a long time, so that was cool. I don't know how many subscribers he has now. It's probably a lot.
Well, I do know, not
doing-
Flex Your Freedom, but
He's doing grandma still, I bet.
KULT with Mike and Stacy. I know he's almost at 100. He might be at 100,000 now, but remember his whole thing was if we had 100,000 subscribers, me and Stacy will get married. And he's almost at 100,000. But I don't know if you guys watch him. Do you still watch him, D.M.A. or
Who?
KULT with Mike?
KULT? Yeah, I mean, I don't really watch any audits like you were saying, dude, because you're always working on stuff.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't, but I am a fan of his, dude. Yeah, I like him. What's his name? Mike, right?
Mike.
And,
Mike.
yeah, I've talked to him a little bit on Instagram, just messaging. I'm a fan of his, dude. I love his audits, dude, because he's got his own unique style that he does. You know,
Right, right.
Like he's got his wife in the back with the extra camera angle, and then he's got his microphone that he busts out and shit. It's hilarious, dude.
I know. I like that.
Yeah, me and Dave had him on for an interview on here like over a year ago.
I just like his confidence.
But then he only had like 20,000 subscribers when we had him on. But then it was this thing where if his channel hits 100,000, then him and Stacy will get married.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're like almost at 100,000.
Yeah.
Or at least a week ago, they might be at 100,000 now. I don't know.
Yeah, you can kind of tell. I can always tell when a channel's gonna blow up. You know what I mean? You can just sense it. Like I could tell his when he first started. J-Town, I found her when she had 15,000. I knew she was gonna be big. Tyrant Terminator, when I saw him, I knew his channel was gonna be big. Like you can just kind of tell when people are gonna blow up.
Nice.
You know, another one that's almost at 100,000 too is Flex Your Freedoms, dude. Which I think Flex Your Freedoms is one of the most underrated auditors, dude.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that guy should have freaking like hundreds of thousands. He should. I mean, he's the funniest. I know some people like what's his name, the other guy, Tuapri and stuff, but like he's funny. But dude, I think Flex Your Freedoms is hands down the funniest, man. And what I love about him too is that he's funny, but he's also real though, and he's not a
Right.
punk dude. Like he's not gonna get bullied. And like
Plus, he was in the actual military. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, he takes his own
what
seriously.
I was going to say about Tuapri is like, I tried watching Tuapri, but Tuapri is just doing it for YouTube. He's doing it. He's not in it for the activism. He's just doing it because he knows, oh, if I do this, this will work. You know what I mean? Flex is 1,000% in it for the activism and to expose the tyranny and for the real reason. You know what I mean?
Well, like I know for a fact that Flex is, just because, you know, I've talked to him and you can tell like when he does the live streams that he's in it. Tuapri, I don't know. Like I don't know him, so I can't really say. He might be in it for that, but he could.
No,
too.
not Flex.
I don't know. No, I'm
Flex
talking
ain't
about
in it for that.
Tuapri though. I'm Tuapri.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
I don't know for a
Tuapri,
fact that he's only in it for money. I mean, I couldn't say that.
Right.
So
Well,
I don't
because I
know.
remember when I first seen him, it was because I watched previous videos at the time just to see like what he was about, and then when that thing happened where he got arrested or whatever, and I guess he was in the same jail as like Long Island or something, or just within days or something. Like he wrote off of one of Long Island Audits videos and
Yeah.
made a video, and then those were getting like huge views, and then Long Island Audit was sharing the video, and then he got a bunch of more subscribers. And I think he just, I don't know, this is my personal opinion, I'm not trying to talk shit about anyone, but I think he might have just rode the coattails. But then, I mean, again, maybe it opened his eyes at the same time. You know, maybe he realized like, oh shit, these guys are corrupt. That's, you know.
I like that he did his interview with us from a car in the dark. I thought that was the funniest thing.
That's how he does all his lives.
I noticed that.
He does all his lives from his truck. Yep.
He's like, I don't want no one to know where I am, so I'm just like gonna drive out in the middle of nowhere and do this interview.
No, usually, well, sometimes he's just sitting in his driveway, but pulled in forward, so you only see behind him. But it's dark out, so you can't see shit anyway.
Yeah,
but yeah, he's cool as fuck, man.
I got our boy. You want to see a little bit of our Michael Jackson real quick?
Yeah, still never heard back from that dude.
We're still gonna get him now. We're gonna get a little bit of this dude.
One of these days. I don't even know if he's still around. I think maybe he might have disappeared.
Let's see if Michael Jackson.
Wait, we can't see it. You gotta scroll up. We can't see it, Dave. There you go.
Hold up. This is a four-wheeler. Woo! There he is.
I want to get this dude on here, man.
Come on, Michael. We want you on here, bro. You're the dopest, bro. Come on.
And the crazy thing is, he doesn't have that many subscribers.
I'm not happy they're making him jump to the mic, though. That ain't even right, bro. Anyway, I don't want to get out here.
He doesn't even.
Oh man.
There's that other guy. He's like new on the scene. I think I've seen him on Facebook reels and stuff. He's like this rapper, and he's this black dude, and he's got like no arms, like they're cut off right here or something like that.
Oh, I've seen that guy. Yeah,
he's dope, dude. And he got like this. The only criticism I gave him once is like he's dope. He's got great delivery. He's got great lyrics, multi-syllable rhyme schemes, all that. But it's like the same song though. His cadence is the same on every song though, so it sounds like the same song every song that he does.
Right.
But he is dope though.
He is. I think my camera's broke.
He talks about like God a lot. Like he's like a religious, like a Christian rapper, I think.
Michael Jackson's only got 212 subscribers.
Dude, I can't believe that. He's literally a wrestler too. I mean, if you go on there, he does midget. Wow, is that a good word? I wasn't gonna say that word, but I don't know if there's a better word for it.
I got shorts coming out about midgets too, so it's just funny. I don't care. It's funny.
What do they call it now?
I think they're called little people.
Citizen media.
Yeah, little people. Okay.
Yeah. Which I don't know. I think that actually sounds even worse.
Right.
But,
I know, that's more demeaning, right?
Famous. Remember like Oinky, Doinky, and Boinky or whatever, like those three little people clowns. If you remember, like in the 90s, they're like WWF and stuff.
Yeah.
Remember those guys? Those guys were like super athletic. I love those guys.
They're awesome. Yep.
Yeah,
I missed the old days when I thought wrestling was real.
Yeah, when you're a kid.
Way back when, I'd be like, "Oh my God, it's Hulk Hogan." Yeah. I mean, that shows my age. I watched him slam Andre the Giant, and that was like the highlight of my life.
Well, I mean, some of it's kind of real. Like you got to learn how to fall right. Like they do fall, from top of the ropes on their backs. You got to land like a certain way, and that shit's gotta still hurt, man.
Oh, it hurts for sure.
Yeah.
I remember having a thing for Randy Macho Man Savage's girlfriend was Elizabeth.
Yeah.
You gonna mess with my Elizabeth? And I was like, yes, I will. But I was like 12 or 13 or something. It's like, I'm gonna have me and Elizabeth one day.
Definitely choreographed, but they definitely work for that shit because they get hurt all the time.
A lot of them guys die from heart attacks from the roids and stuff. Though. You ever seen the dark side of the ring on Vice?
Mm-hmm.
It explains like how they were all on the juice and meth and all kind of stuff.
Yeah, you like got to be on juice if you're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, same thing with like the bodybuilding stuff, you know, like you can't compete if you're not on it. Dude, I saw this thing of like bodybuilders in the 40s and it literally looked just like average man with their shirt off. They weren't like huge or ripped. They had like, you know, like a 15% body fat, just like, you know, a strong, fit guy. That's like all it was. It was so
Right.
crazy. Cause, you know, back then, not only did they not have gear, but they didn't have like the techniques they did. Like, I don't even think bench press was out yet. Like they used to do push-ups back then. And then finally they invented like a push-up press, but they used to do it on the floor so you can get full range of motion. So like they didn't even have all this stuff, you know, techniques that they have now.
So wait, real quick, did Phil Robertson pass away? Navy? Like the Duck Dynasty guy?
Oh, no shit.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking.
I didn't notice the RIP part in front of Phil Robertson.
I read all the chat. I'm a chat monster. Oh, he
that who that
did.
guy
He
was?
passed away. Yeah, he passed away.
That
79.
was the Duck Dynasty guy? Okay, I remember him.
Hey, one day we all gotta go. Yeah, that was the elder guy.
Yeah.
That wouldn't compromise. I like people that don't compromise. Stick to their guns, right or wrong.
What's up, Too Tall? Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, Too Tall.
Yeah,
How long we been going? We've been going almost 3 hours, my friend.
Fuck. Dude, we're supposed to stop at 2, man.
We're doing
really. Time flies when you're having fun.
Dude, we're having fun. We don't have to stop.
Yeah,
I know,
I mean, I'm good.
man.
I'm not in a rush or anything. So whatever you guys want.
Okay, cool.
Well, we can hang out backstage afterwards for sure.
I don't want to do that because then you start getting Diddy on me with the oil and all that stuff. It's like,
So you want me to prove that I'm not wearing pants? Oh, I can't see.
no.
I never wear pants when I'm live.
Stay seated. As soon as you said that, I turtled.
Or do I? Nobody will ever know because I'll never stand up.
I could have swore you were married, D.M.A. Sorry about that earlier.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not married. Never been married, dude.
But it's like common law to me. It was like at least common law, right?
No.
Yeah, well, no, that's what I consider me.
Her and I don't live together.
Common law.
Oh, then I was wrong.
Yeah, I live in this condo here by myself.
Once in a while, I'm wrong. Once every day, every hour. I broke my camera somehow, man. It's done.
That's the name of your channel now.
Yeah.
Dave's camera's broken. That's gonna get you all the hours that you need, dude, right there.
Right. I'm assuming now that I have to go live. If I don't go live, I'm never gonna get my hours. I'm just convinced of it. I have to go live.
So like the static videos, it's just not going up no matter what.
Nothing's going up. And
do you have the same thing I was telling Steve about in your YouTube studio? You know, that little box on the top right corner, or you can talk to chat.
Let me look.
Yeah, like it's a little box like with a message thing, and you can hit that, and then you can talk to someone at Google and see if they can get that sorted out for you.
I mean, I've left them lots of messages. I've been on forum boards. I've asked other YouTubers.
X, if you go to X and then tag them on it, they always respond on X. It's like YouTube support, I think is what it is. Just hit at YouTube support and make sure they're tagged, and like within an hour they'll reach out to you. They're good.
Yeah, on mine, it looks like a little piece of paper, but then has the thing, and then if you hold over it, it says chat with creator support.
Yeah, that's it.
Mine says create post.
No, right to the left of create. There'll be a question mark, and then to the left of that, there's that little whatever that is.
Yeah, I don't have it, so maybe you have to be monetized to have that box, but I don't have it.
You have to be monetized for it.
Yeah, so I don't have it yet.
Which
So-
sucks because you can't get monetized until you get
right.
You know, yeah, exactly.
Screw you guys.
Yeah. No, so man, like the way that the relationship they have with their creators is so piss poor, man. It's not good at all.
Well, I have
What
85
sucks
hours.
What sucks too is they're making money off you regardless. Even if you're not monetized, they're making money off you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're putting on ads on my stuff, but they're not counting my hours. I'm like, how is that possible?
Yeah, they actually make more money if you're not monetized because they don't have to pay you.
Right.
The monetization thing is just it's an incentive to get people to make videos.
Cheryl, you're funny. You can't get enough of me, girl. My wife's about to come behind me with a bat and hit me in the head.
But no, dude, Dave, if you do go live though, man, me going live when I first started my channel 4 years ago, if I never went live, I never would have got monetized.
You know, I met this person the other day. I'm not gonna shout it out, but she started about 4 weeks ago, got a separation from her man, got cleaned up from heroin, got her kids back, stuff like that. But anyway, she's already monetized. She got all her hours, but what she did is she left her live on all night on her fish tank with her fish swimming around, and enough people came because they were interested in her story, and they just sat there, I guess, and watched her fish tank. And I know it's lame, but I'm like, what do I got to do?
I've seen people do that too on those vertical lives. They record themselves sleeping.
It's bizarre, right? It seems lame, but I'm like, I'm almost at like where should I just be lame once or something?
No, just do live streams. Don't do it that way though. Just go up and do live streams and just talk, just chop it up with people, you know, like the vertical ones are good because you can get a lot of people in there, you know, and you get new subscribers that way too.
Yeah, verticals are
watch time
awesome.
hours on those. Like you get thousands, tens and thousands of views on the vertical ones.
Right. Except it never worked for me, but no, I've seen channels that would normally have like 150, 200 viewers, and then they're on a vertical live and they got like 1,200. It's like, damn. And then when I would do a vertical live, I would normally have like maybe 25, 30. And when I do a vertical live, it'd only be like 9. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, man?
I don't even really know why I want to be monetized other than it's just a goal, because I don't plan on making money like to live off of on this thing, but it would be cool just.
But if you're monetized, at least they'll have to share the money that they're making off of you.
Well,
even though it's not much, trust me, the first
I don't
4
care.
years I didn't make shit.
It's a milestone for one.
Right.
And then also they actually do push out monetized channels more than they do non.
Right.
So, like if you monetize the video, you'll get more impressions on the monetized video. If you leave monetization off, it'll get less. Or if it gets a yellow check mark, it's not fully monetized, they won't push it out as much either.
I appreciate you, Brandon. Thank you.
Yeah, that is true. D.M.A.
That's why people like sometimes, like I remember Leroy Truth was like, oh, they keep giving me yellow check marks, yellow $sign, but I just had to get it out. So I just put it out. And I'm like, dude, but when you do that, man, like it's less people are going to see it. Just wait, man, until, you know, if you want to get it out because people need to see it, wait, because then more people will see it, you know? So, because he would wait for the review and sometimes it takes like a day or two. And so he would just throw it up.
It seems like
I used to be that way. I'd be like, yeah, but it's so good, man.
So I fought a copyright, Steve. That's what happened. Is I was getting my hours, and then I fought that copyright, and I won, or did I win?
No, no, I don't think that has anything to do with it, because that's the one I told you to fight it. That's the one where every time we talked about it, I was like, dude, you got to fight that shit because it's bullshit.
Yeah, I'm already subbed to you, Brandon. Yeah, I've seen your videos.
And then you fought it and you won. You appealed it and then you won. And then I don't think that has anything to do with it. But then again, I don't know.
I don't care anymore. I'm gonna figure it out eventually.
But you still should get monetized. Like D.M.A. said, it's a milestone.
Yeah, that's all I want it for.
And then you got the subs. I mean, you got twice as many as I do. So.
It don't matter. I mean, do you really think? I mean, I know you think. Well, you might go all the way. I'm just trying to have some fun. But if they're purposely doing that to me, I'm pissed about it.
Yeah, they are. They got to be purposely doing that. They do that stuff to me too, man, all the time.
It's like, if we're legitimately making it, let us make it. What the hell?
Oh, dude. I mean, everyone gets suppressed. I notice on my Christopher Cordova channel, because it doesn't have that many subscribers. And so I always notice when it goes up and down. On the D.M.A channel, I never noticed it. Like, they do still take subscribers off that. They take them off everyone, but I never noticed it because it was always, gaining because so many people were subscribing. But like on my smaller channels, I'll notice it. And on the Christopher Cordova channel, I was stuck at 492 subscribers forever, bro. And like, it would go down to 490 and then to like 488 and then it go back up to 490. And I was stuck there for like weeks. It just wouldn't, because it wasn't people were unsubscribing, is Google was unsubscribing them for me.
Yep.
And
dude, I've been unsubscribed to so many channels, and I don't unsubscribe from channels.
I don't either. And I've had people email me and say, "Hey, dude, did I do something wrong?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "What are you talking about?" "Well, you unsubscribed me." And I'm like, "Oh my God, you're one of my favorite channels." No.
Yeah. That's why I always double check to make sure I'm subscribed. But that's bullshit right there. How is YouTube just gonna unsubscribe you from?
Yeah.
Especially if it's a channel you watch all the time.
And how is it an accident?
No, it's not an accident. Well, they say that it's like sometimes they'll do it because they think it's a bot subscriber, right?
Okay.
So
Well,
to prevent, people like buying subs and stuff. But I've had people literally say in the comment section on the main D.M.A channel, "This is the third time I had to subscribe to you," and stuff like that. So
wow. Yeah, scumbags.
I mean, they were much better when YouTube was actually YouTube before Google took over, man.
Yep, exactly.
I forgot, what was the revenue? Do you remember, Steve, what I told you that YouTube made last year? Did I say 9 billion? I can't remember what it was.
I can't remember either. I know it's got to be in the billions, though.
Yeah, I think somebody was saying estimated if somebody were to buy, if YouTube was for sale, it would go for somewhere around 500 billion.
All right, so in 2024, YouTube generated $36.1 billion in revenue, marking a 14.6 increase year to year. In quarter four, they made 10.47 billion alone in 2024, which would have been December. So like September, October, November, December.
But that's just revenue. That's not bottom line, right?
Surpassing this growth reflects. Well, yeah. So I figured like 6 billion. Just maybe not, maybe less, because they're in a high tax bracket. So maybe 5. What do you think?
How much? Out of 10 billion?
Yeah, I would say it's about a 50% tax bracket, isn't it?
Somewhere like close to that. But then, they got overhead too. They got employees to pay and stuff like that. And
it's still a lot of money. And that's just for
it's still a lot. Yeah.
No.
It's still billions.
So like $9 billion and you can't even monetize me, bro. Fuck you. Anyway.
There's once they got money, they want more. It's never enough. I never got one like people get like that. Dude, if I just had this, I'd be happy. And then they get that. But then they're like, well, oh, hold on, time out. Mr. Danny Cola, Mr. John Danny Cola. All right, had to shout him out.
What's up, John Danny Cola?
Then they get to that point, and then they're like, "Oh no, I need this now." And then it's the next thing, and then they get to there, and then it's like you're never gonna reach anything because you just keep moving the goalposts. You just keep wanting more. It's like you have to be good with yourself.
Then one day you're on your deathbed wanting to give up all your wealth so you can have your health back.
Yep.
It's about how it works. This is depressing. We're getting depressing, bro. God.
What's good, John? Good to see you, John Danny Cola. We're just getting ready to end, Mr. Danny Cola, Mr. John Danny Cola.
Is my camera working? Can you see me or no?
Yeah.
Okay. This was one of my mom's cups. I can't see if you can see it properly.
No, you're frozen now.
I'm frozen?
Yep.
Okay. But camera. See what happens when you're mean? They freeze your damn camera. It's all good. Anyway, the cup says money can't buy love, health, happiness, or what it did last year. And I always loved this cup because my mom had money, but she acted like she was broke her whole life. It amazed me. Like we would go out to eat, and she was like taking jelly packets home, and I'm like, Mom, we can afford jelly. What the hell? But she acted like she was broke her whole life.
Yeah, that's how my grandfather was too. He was like a self-made millionaire.
Yeah.
And he was an old man too, and he'd come out to visit me, dude, and he would take the bus. I was like, Grandpa, why don't you just take a plane? And he's like, I was like, you're old. And he's like, well, it's just cheaper this way. And I was like, but you have so much money, you're not even going to be able to spend it. Just like enjoy all the years of work that you put in right now, And, he would still do stuff, he'd take my grandma and they go traveling, go to Spain, go all these countries and stuff. But he was super thrifty like that. You know what I mean?
I just wonder if they were trying to create generational wealth for the next generation and didn't care about themselves.
I think that's probably part of it too.
And like D.M.A said earlier too, nowadays nobody is who your grandfather was back in the day.
Yep.
I forgot how you worded it, but
I said you're not the same person that your grandfather was.
Yep.
No. Dudes are sissies now. None of the kids want to work.
They want the payout.
There's a lot of mad people right now.
They want the reward, but they don't want to do the work for it.
They're taking away the free money, and they're demanding that anybody on the bridge card has to work 15 hours at least a week. They're starting it now.
The what card?
The bridge, the money card, EBT.
Oh, EBT. Okay.
So you got to at least try to be getting a job and prove it and work 15 hours a week.
So John Denicola is asking, whatever happened with the appeal in Sheridan?
Actually still waiting on it. Like sometimes appeals take years because the criminal stuff comes before the appeal stuff. It's priority. So still waiting. It's the Colorado Supreme Court right now is it's at. So we're waiting.
Well, you're standing on good ground constitutionally, right?
Yeah. I mean, dude, if that's one, like the Social Security case one, everyone lost theirs. Bay Area lost, Rogue Nation. What's his name? This is a public service. It's because, it's a non-public forum, but I think that non-public forum stuff, limited public forum, all that stuff is just an excuse to violate your rights. I mean, if it's open to the public and you can be there, you should just be allowed to take pictures. And so like, some people, they don't even like me. Some people in the 1A community even like turn their back on me because I made this case law in the wrong direction. But, just because the government said that I can't do it doesn't mean that that's right. I still believe that you should be able to take pictures in there, and that if it's compromising people's, social security numbers, which I wasn't going to steal social security numbers anyways, they need to design the area in a different manner. Right. So anyways, that's going to be stuff that I'm going to bring up in the documentary that I'm making anyways, whether that space was a lobby, because.
Are you talking about an actual Social Security office?
Yeah. The Social Security office. But yes, because that actually was a lobby. I mean, every single person referred to it as a lobby or a waiting area, which is a lobby. All the officers, all of the security guards in their statements said it's a lobby. So I mean, it was clearly a lobby that they were just doing business in the lobby. But
me and my brother,
just because just because they say it's not that you can't do it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to do it. So. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, everybody else, I was there the other day, everybody else had their phones out looking at their phones. And you mean you were documenting it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I literally went in there and recorded the police. That's who I recorded for like 10 seconds. That was what I did. But I mean, if they would have just left us alone, we would have been in there for 5 minutes and then left. You know what I mean? But I already knew they weren't going to leave us alone. It was going to be a big old deal. But
well, me and my brother went to Social Security I think it was about 4 weeks ago, and we both walked in and we both had forgotten that we were both armed. So
really?
we both had concealed carry, And then like when I sat down, of course, it hit the plastic on the chair, and I was like, oh my God, it made a huge noise, and it's really quiet in there. There's like 30 people, but it's like a church.
Yeah.
And I looked over at the security guy, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, I told my brother, I said, oh man, I forgot to take my piece out and put it in the car. And he's like, yeah, so did I. So just as we started to stand up, the guy comes over and he's like, I go, we're on our way out, man. We forgot, my bad. And he's like, he was cool about it, thank God.
Yeah.
But
so you're not allowed to have the wet because it's federal property. So they
yeah,
don't allow it.
if they have the sign on the door that says no weapons allowed or no concealed carry, then you have to abide by it. They can write you written permission.
Okay.
And they can override it. But yeah, it was just like I sat down and it was like this big clank. And I was like, oh, damn.
But because that's what I was talking about, the Sheridan thing. And you said, go constitutional, whatever, like I hope to God that they don't. That's one, the Social Security, I still think that we should be allowed to, but that's one thing. I hope to God that they don't want to make case law that says that you can't, in the 10th Circuit, that you can't record in City Hall. I mean, that's already pretty well established, right? Like in the First Circuit with Glick versus Cuniff, right? And then, there's no case law out here. People were wondering, like Rice Krispie was like, oh, why is he quoting Glick versus Cuniff? And he's got, what do you say? I had Irizarry versus Yahaya, but that's like, for police officers, that's like a Turner versus Driver. So there's nothing in Colorado for public officials, like at a city hall. So that's what I'm trying to create. That's why I was saying Glick versus Cuniff, because it's persuasive case law. But I hope that they don't decide that, this is a good idea to say that, yeah, they can ban recording in the city hall. I mean, that would be crazy,
Well, yeah, because what if you were just looking at some way to help yourself or family on the wall, like a paper on the wall, and you just wanted to record it or take a picture of it?
Well, the rule that they made, the administrative order, is that you can't record any person without their permission. So, and every time that I went in there, I never did an audit at Sheridan City Hall. Every single time I went in there was for legitimate business. Taking pictures is legitimate business, but I had business there. I was trying to get those pictures off Deborah Swenson's phone that she took of me, and they wouldn't give them to me. So that's why I kept going in and making the stink about it. If they would have just gave me the pictures, I would have been fine. But instead, they drafted that administrative order because they were looking really bad on YouTube, and they're probably getting a bunch of phone calls and emails and stuff. So instead of doing what's right, they just doubled down and made it worse. So yeah, I've always had, like, I was just documenting my interactions with government in there. That's all I was doing. So, and even nowadays, I rarely do actual audits. I usually have actual business to conduct besides just taking pictures now.
And that's the thing that bothers me the most, is because, like, go anywhere, just on your regular day life, just go shopping, go Costco, go to the gas station, go to the bank, whatever you do in your normal everyday life, and just stop and look around. Mm-hmm. You're being watched by the government everywhere. So why is it a big deal if one dude is holding a camera and doing the same thing that they're doing?
Mm-hmm. You're not on their team. You're not on their team.
Yeah. I even had people say, we were at the rec center with Rocky Ventures Audits out here, and this lady come, oh, I don't want to be on your camera, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, it's free press. They got cameras over here. She's like, oh, I'm fine being on their cameras, but I don't want to be on yours. She straight up said that. Oh, you're fine. Totally fine with government, recording you, but not just a regular person.
Because, you know what? Because it was they were programmed to think, well, they're watching me for my own safety. Yeah. You ever notice that? Anytime they start a war, anytime they do anything, it's always for the people's safety. Yeah. It's for the people's safety. It's for the safety.
It's for your own good.
It blows my mind.
They told Ukraine back in the day, Ukraine had more nuclear weapons than a lot of places, and we talked them out of it into giving them up in the name of safety, and we would keep them safe. Now look at them.
Stupid, man.
That's
what some people think Americans should do. Hey, just give all the guns. And because people think that I am utopian by saying that I think we should organize society in a voluntary way, without government force and coercion. And they think that's utopian, but I think it's utopian to think, oh, let's just give all the guns and all the power to the government. But hey, limit yourself, don't get out of control or anything. I mean, that's crazy to think that.
I miss the old days, like the old West, where if you just had an issue, you went out in the street. If you had the balls and you just did it,
I don't know if it was really like that. I think that's more of a Hollywood thing, though.
Probably
Did they really
could.
do that? Yeah.
But anarchy, though, I mean, anarchy. If you got a problem, you handle it, and then that person learns a lesson, and it doesn't happen again. And most people think anarchy means that like everyone's running wild in the streets and just like, wah.
Yeah.
That's not anarchy. Anarchy is just you're a free person and you do your own thing.
Well,
And if
people
you
think
got to
that
handle
anarchy. People think anarchy is chaos, and it's not.
Right.
So, like,
Exactly.
anarchy doesn't mean no rules; it means no rulers. And so, like, the anarchy that I advocate for isn't no law and order at all. It's just I want to localize government. I think that'd be better to localize it. Therefore, if you don't like the way the laws are in your town, then you could just move somewhere else. You know what I mean? Instead of having this big giant monopoly on the use of force, right? It would be more like a free market. You can kind of choose what your force and coercion is going to be, so to speak.
Exactly. See, that's why I always say I suck at explaining shit. You just said what I've been thinking for the past 4 or 5 years that I've never explained. So thank you for saying that.
Night, Ken, bro. Take care.
What's up?
I just said good night.
Much love, Ken. Much love, Ken. Hope everything's good with you, man.
Yeah, check your BP pills. If you're on a blood pressure pill, I read today that you shouldn't eat a bunch of not calcium, but potassium with them because they're high in potassium already. So if you're eating bananas, leafy greens, everything that's good for you, you need to stop because your potassium level will go up and cause crazy stuff with your heart.
I heard stop taking what doctors give you because they're a part of the government and they're just trying to make money too, and it's making it worse. But that's
I was shocked when I read it. I read it today because I take a blood pressure pill, and I've been eating a lot of avocados and bananas and leafy greens and all kind of fruit. And then I was like reading all the side effects of too much potassium and what not to eat, and it's like, oh great, I've been on a diet of eating everything I'm not supposed to have with this pill. And why is it this pill is like this, where you take this pill and you can't eat anything healthy? Shouldn't it coincide with healthy food? It's bizarre.
The pills I used to take
everything
almost killed me, and I stopped taking them.
Yeah, I'm not trusting.
Because my doctor gave me those pills to begin with, the Vicodins.
Oh.
And then I was taking almost 20 or up to 20 a day just to feel normal.
Yeah. Well, did you get addicted to them?
Oh, dude, I was bad. And then I was putting the fentanyl patches on my stomach, and I was taking Percocet on top of it. I really don't know how I'm still alive. I really don't.
No, that stuff's crazy, dude. I mean, I was having an issue with that stuff too, man. That stuff's not, it's bad.
Yeah. But the point is that it's doctors give it to you.
Yeah.
So I don't trust doctors. They almost killed me once by saying, oh, take this. This will make you feel better. And yeah, it made me feel really better. And then I just I need more. I need more.
Yep.
So,
oh yeah, dude, doctors are terrible, man. My nephew, his testicle, he's a baby, dude. I think he was like maybe 6 months, and his testicles swole up like super big, bro. And like they were freaking out, and they went to the ER, and like the doctor diagnosed him with, I don't even remember what it was, something, but he needed emergency surgery, and they didn't do it there. So they had to fly him, dude. They had the helicopter and they flew him all the way over to wherever. My sister's in a panic and taking this baby in for this emergency, whatever it was. And they freaking cut him open, put him down under, cut him open, and it misdiagnosis, bro. Like it wasn't even the right thing. And they're like, he's fine.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
And it's like, dude, what the heck? And I told her, I was like, you need to sue that doctor, dude, like that for pain and suffering, for all that stuff, putting the baby, on unnecessary surgery. That's crazy, dude. And he already is like kind of unhealthy because he's what's it called? The IF whatever baby, like a tube baby.
In vitro, yeah.
And so like he's already got some like health issues and he needs to have like some other surgery. So, and it's not good for these little kids to be going under anesthesia like that. It messes them up. So anything unnecessary like that, just making it worse. Yeah, doctors, you know, I was talking to my mom, doctors don't really know that much. Sometimes I've been misdiagnosed so many times. Like they just kind of like go through the motions and like they might know what they're talking about, but they, especially PCs, primary cares, they try to like be good at everything. And like, they think that they can manage a specific thing that, you know, people go to school for, just that thing. And like, they don't know what they're doing, man. That like, they're good for like, you got the flu or whatever, but you know, doctors, sometimes they just, they misdiagnose. I've been misdiagnosed by this one doctor, like so many times, saying I had all this stuff that I didn't have. And it's, you just got to be careful with it. Just because they're a doctor doesn't mean that they're like, and people just have blind faith in them, just like they do the government and stuff.
Exactly, man. That's, and I never go to the doctors, dude. I only time I go to the doctors is if I'm in so much pain, I just can't handle it.
Yeah.
But then the first thing I tell them is, you can't give me any opioids because I've been clean for like 12 years now. Can't give me opioids, but do something because I like, or if I think I'm going to die. Other than that, it's like, dude, I'll get through it. And I do, you know?
Yeah. I mean, my wrist is jacked up. I just went in for an MRI. I had to get a colonoscopy because I had one like years ago and then they found a polyp. So I had to keep going in like every 5 years, they said. Now I only have to go in every 7 years. But after that, my wrist was jacked up, bro. Like, and it still hurts. And this was like already 3 months ago. And I'm like, how is my wrist messed up? And the only thing I could think of, they put the IV in here. I thought it was nerve damage or something, but it hurts so bad. I can't even lift anything, you know, like 5 pounds is excruciating pain. And like, it's a little bit starting to finally get better now, but it's literally been like 3 months of like agonizing pain. And like, I don't know what the heck happened to me, but I just got the MRI. Hopefully, I bet you she's going to say nothing. I bet you it's nerve damage because it's not swollen or anything. And like, I don't know what they could have done to me, you know, after that.
Right. But wait, you said colonoscopy? How?
Yeah.
You don't seem old enough. Like,
no,
I haven't had a colonoscopy
yeah,
yet.
no, usually you have your first one at 50, but I went in for like another reason, having like some other stomach issues. So they just did one to check stuff out. And then they found a polyp. So my body makes polyps. So since they make polyps, they can turn cancerous. So then you got to go in every 5 years after that, just to make sure that they can burn them off and stuff. And then they found another one this time. So, but he's like, you just got to come back in 7 more years. You're fine. And I was like, okay. So sometimes it's a blessing, dude. Like my friend, he got jumped. He got beat up so bad, dude. And he went to the doctor and because they, you know, to see if he had a concussion. And they're like, well, we got good news and bad news. You don't have a concussion, but you do have a brain tumor. And if we don't get this fixed right away, you're going to die in about 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how bad it was. Like, dude, that was totally divine intervention, bro. Like he just got beat up and then now he would have died. He didn't know he had a brain tumor.
Yeah, no kidding. And then when you do realize it, by that point, it's too late.
Yeah.
And he didn't have any symptoms or anything. He just
no symptoms, bro. I saw it. He actually on Facebook, he had the picture of his skull. The doctor took a picture of it and like, you know, they saw your back of your head open and like clamp it open. You could see his brain. It was crazy, dude. Yeah. And dude, when those surgeries, it's like a 50% chance of dying, you know, because they taken out a tumor in your brain, they hit something, dude, and you're dead. It's like 50-50. Can you imagine the nervousness of going in for that? Like, dude, I'm 50, it's a coin toss and I'm gonna even wake up, bro.
Big Dad was just gonna say, it's like you go in and it's like, oh, I'm either gonna wake up or I'm not. Like,
that would be rough, bro. Because I remember I was nervous going under. And like when they're putting the anesthesia on you, and I'm like kind of nervous, but then it's weird, like anesthesia, you know, when as soon as you wake up, it feels like it was 5 seconds, like you go to sleep and then bam, you're up. And like when you're on anesthesia, when I wake up, I was noticing it's like dreaming, but it's different. Like anesthesia, it's not like dreaming. It's something else. It feels like you're going into like some type of other reality, like some type of other dimension or something like that. You know what I mean? When you're on anesthesia, you ever notice that? It's the type of consciousness that you're in. It's what I feel like. It's weird.
Wow, Cheryl,
it's
that's
like that.
crazy. Count back,
Count back from 10 and you're like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10, 9
Yeah.
And then just
she didn't
and-
even make me count this time.
And then when you wake up, you're like 8, and they're like, "We're done."
Yep.
What do you mean we're done?
Cheryl said she was in a car accident and they found out she had lung cancer and had to have a lung removed and probably would have never known without the accident.
Dang.
You had a lung? What, Cheryl? I didn't know this.
Yeah, she's not one of them people that complains.
You had a lung removed?
That's crazy though. Get in an accident, find the cancer.
Yep.
Holy shit.
That kind of stuff happens.
I had a friend had a 12-year-old daughter. She was running outside. She tripped over the sidewalk and her leg broke. She went in and found out she had cancer in her leg, and they amputated the leg and saved her life.
What?
But it was so brittle from the cancer that it went into like 1,000 pieces when she hit the ground. And they were like, "What in the heck happened to her?" They couldn't figure it out because it had just splintered. There was no saving it. But yeah, cancer.
And when I got hit by a car when I was 6, they didn't find shit. They just told me I was an idiot. So
yeah.
My mom, it was a blessing. She got into a car accident. Some 15-year-old was driving with her permit and rear-ended her, and she had a whiplash. And so she went in, for her neck was all jacked up, and it was for years that she was dealing with this, and like it wasn't getting better. So they thought, well, we think maybe you're inflamed, and that's why. And so we're going to give you an allergy test to see if you're, have food allergies. And she's like, okay. And it was really expensive, and her insurance didn't cover it. So she's like, they're like, go get the one at Target. It's like way cheaper. And she got it, and she was like allergic to like almost everything, like 50 foods or something like that. And she's like, oh, this can't be right. So she went into the blood work one, had the doctor do it. And sure enough, dude, she's allergic to chicken, wheat, gluten, corn, like everything, dude. Her diet now is like so strict, right? But it was causing the inflammation, and she's been allergic to this her entire life. She used to suffer from headaches all the time, and she would go into the neurologist and they could never figure it out. And she always had a runny nose her whole life. My mom always had tissue in her pocket and stuff. And so like ever since she was a child, she's been allergic to all this stuff in the food, but she didn't know it, and she was poisoning herself. And so ever since she did that, she didn't lose weight, but she like lost sizes in her pants because she wasn't inflamed. And then her headaches went away, her runny nose went away, all this stuff, dude. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. Doctors don't know what they're doing. Doctors should be, if like you're a neurologist and somebody's having a headache, you should know, if nothing else is working, that, hey, well, maybe she's allergic to something, you know what I mean? And let's give her a test right there, but they don't. So,
right.
Well, that's why they say they're practicing medicine. That's why it makes me want to go somewhere else when they're practicing anything.
Yeah. Practicing it.
Mhm.
This is just practice. It's what it is. They're just learning as they go.
So you're going to practice on me and practice on your mom.
Tell your mom I said thanks.
Can you give me the care you'd give your mom? Probably not.
But hey, Steve, can I play a video, dude? It's a short.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think you'll like it, dude, because we're talking about the government stuff. Okay, hold on, let me share screen. Well, it's not working though. Can you, I think you have to accept it or something. There we go.
There you go.
Okay, cool.
You, as a
there's your
beautiful,
dogs.
independent human being with inalienable rights, own yourself. As a result, you can do what you want with your own body and own the product of your labor. The implication is that it is morally wrong to initiate force against someone else or their property, because to do so is to violate their rights. Therefore, all human interactions should be free of force, fraud, and coercion, and people should be free to exercise their rights, limited only by respect for the rights of others. When you learned don't hit and don't steal, it wasn't unless you work for the government. When you learned thou shalt not kill, it wasn't unless your dear leader gives you a gun and a uniform and a one-way ticket to the other side of the world. Government is force, an opinion with a gun, and force is a poor substitute for persuasion. Governments frighten us into thinking we need them, but with knowledge, philosophy, and technology, we are empowering ourselves and each other to have the courage to move past the paradigm of statism and restrain government to only moral uses of force, at least until we replace it with the cooperative free market solutions that will soon render it obsolete. You.
So true.
Yeah, kind of like you said, I have a hard time explaining stuff. Like me too. And so like he explained everything. A lot of the stuff that I learned was from him, Adam Kokesh. So he explains it much better. So that's why I wanted to play that for you.
That's so true. Cause like, yeah, because when you learn that, like, do not kill unless,
right,
do not do this unless. That is so true.
It's a fundamental principle that we all learned when we were toddlers, right? Is don't hit, right? It was never don't hit unless, you got a gun and a badge, or
unless you got a gun official, then you can just beat the shit
and
out
like
of
people don't realize that what government does, like even taxation, people say taxation is not theft or it's not violent. Well, it's only government. The only reason government can do things is because everything that they do is backed up by force, right? And if they don't use force, then at least the threat of force is what gets people to do things. Otherwise, people wouldn't pay taxes, right? So people say, well, taxation is not violent, but I mean, have you ever tried to not pay your taxes? What do you think would happen to you if you did that, right? So eventually men with guns would come and they would use violence on you if you refuse to cooperate with your own kidnapping, and then they'd use violence on you. So it is violent. So it's just a fundamental principle, to not use force on anyone else. And there's other ways to fund things that people think that you have to have government for. There's no other way, who's going to build the roads? Or we'd be invaded, and like that could be a whole other show. But if you guys are interested in that stuff, you should check out Adam Kokesh. You can find him on Rumble and on Odyssey. His entire channel is backed up if that interests you at all.
Right on, yeah. Because that's what I always say. How you said about the taxes, like you think you're free. If you think you're free, try not paying taxes and tell me how free you are. You think you own anything?
Yeah.
Try not paying property taxes and tell me how free you are. And shout out to JM and Leash, brother. Thank you for being a member for 22 months, man. You rock, brother.
Absolutely. That's why I want to move up north, is because it's not that I won't have taxes, but they're like $700 a year. They're actually reasonable taxes. I consider them reasonable. I mean, I don't think I should have to pay at all, but $700 a year is nothing.
Right, for property taxes?
Yeah, and it's for 50 acres, so yeah.
Or you go to New Hampshire, they don't have any property taxes.
That's awesome.
Or they don't have any sales tax either. It's like
I just supposed to be getting rid of the property tax or some shit. I don't know. I stopped following.
I would be down for that if you did that,
They
At
should
least,
get rid
at
of
the very least, once, like you pay taxes on stuff until you own it, right? But at the very least, they should make it so that once you pay off your house, you don't have to keep paying property taxes. That's just robbery, dude.
Exactly. It's like your house is already paid off. So why are you still involved? All goes back to why I'll never legally get married, because why are you going to involve tyrants into your life?
Yep.
That's all it is.
And then government incentivizes divorce, right? And it's a good talking to about that stuff with Snooki, right? And the government, it's kind of an L for the guy. I mean, if the guy's the sole provider, the main provider, he's got to pay child support. He loses custody of his kids. He's got to pay alimony, right? And like the woman gets the benefit from the divorce, so they incentivize that. You know what I mean? And like the man kind of gets screwed, and that's why I think a lot of men are choosing not to get married nowadays. You know what I mean? Because it is an L for them. Because 50% of marriages end up in divorce in the United States. That's not a very good ratio, man.
Right. That's like one of the shorts I put out with Bill Burr, and he says, if you were to go skydiving and they told you, well, there's a 50% chance that this parachute's going to open, would you jump? Hell no, you wouldn't jump. But you guys are still getting married.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. And then like if you get divorced, like 60 or 70% of people that get divorced get remarried within like the next couple of years. Wow. And then they're more like their second marriage is statistically more likely to fail. And then third marriage, even more likely to fail.
That's the crazy part. I guess those are the people that don't learn the first time. I don't know.
No, they don't. That's kind of like me. I don't usually learn my lesson the first time. I got to learn it like 4 or 5 times just to make sure.
That's true too, though. Yeah, because
I
usually don't learn the first time.
People that are like us, that are in this community, kind of rebels and stuff. A lot of the same. We got to learn the hard way, unfortunately. Like, they say that, like Adam Kokesh says, that the first people that are going to be attracted to the message of liberty aren't the people that the system treat well. It's not the prom king and queens and the valedictorians. It's the misfits and the punks, right? Like people say it, like the trolls say, oh, they're felons and they're this and they're that. Well, yeah. So, I mean, dude, the founders of this country were felons, bro. They were like considered traitors. You know what I mean? So this whole country was founded on questioning authority. And it's just unfortunate that the people that got the short end of the stick firsthand when it comes to government are the ones that really have their eyes open to liberty. And the people that, are treated well by the system, they just think they're treated well so that it's a good thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
Parks, she was considered a troublemaker, dude, right? And now she's regarded a hero. So,
dude, that's weird you said that, because I was just watching, and Rosa Parks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just watching something about her. I don't know. Might have been last night. See, that's what I do. I'll take Pablo for a walk. It'll be like 1 a.m, and I'm going to bed. I'm just like out of it. But something about that, where like the whole story that everyone's been told isn't the actual story.
Oh, really?
She didn't sit up there to fight for all this shit. She sat up there because she was just tired. She's like, look, I don't have the energy to go in the back. I'm just
right.
Tired. But then they turned it into like, she stood up for her.
Yeah.
But I mean, then again, I don't know. That's just what that one video I watched was. I don't know if that's true.
Well, even if that's what it was, she was just tired and she said, no, screw this. I mean, either way, it still had the positive outcome that it had, right? And maybe that's all it took. She wasn't trying to be an activist, but maybe she's just like, you know what, this is BS, dude. I'm tired. I should just be able to sit in the front of the bus. I'm a human being.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's a good way to look at it, because it still had a positive outcome. Yeah. So, yeah.
Sometimes a lot of people like that, like Rosa Parks, she wasn't, that's not her goal, is to be an activist. A lot of times that happens. People are just fed up. Like a lot of times people, their goal isn't to do anything. It's just that they're just fed up and they're tired of it, so it just kind of happens that way.
Like when a good person is just at the end of themselves, they've been holding it back and repressing it so long, and they finally break, and they're this hero.
Yeah,
because they've held it back so long.
Mm-hmm. And then all comes out in this energy, right? This explosive energy, because they're so fed up and they get so passionate about it, and it comes out. And when stuff like that happens, I think people are like spiritually guided. You know what I mean? It's like they're being coached spiritually to do or say whatever they're saying.
It is Midwest accountability.
Yo, what's up, Midwest?
We shared your video a little bit ago.
Oh yeah, dude. The cop that knew the 5 freedoms, bro. That was a good one.
That was really good. Yeah.
And he was a better cop than the San Joaquin one, because the San Joaquin guy, he only knew because his daughter was taking the social studies test of the Constitution. But your guy actually knew it, man. He looked like a rookie too. He was a young kid. And that was hilarious too. Like, hey, my audience is saying if you're gonna have to forget at least 2 of those if you ever want to get a promotion. That was hilarious.
Yeah, if you want to be a part of the real Blue Line gang.
That's true too, man.
Unfortunately, but yeah,
change your attitude real quick, man. Stop knowing all these people's rights.
You just got to worry about you getting home safe every night and be paranoid that. I wonder where all that went wrong. And that's the other thing. There's one of the lyrics in that other song that I wrote. Because I feel like, it's been happening since like what, the 50s, 60s. But it's like, when did it change? When did it? I guess it became harder to become a cop in more modern times, because then you got body cams. But look at the way they act on camera now with the body cameras. And that's the other thing. Like, people tell me, oh, well, yeah, you got guys going out there recording them. And I'm like, okay, forget those then. Let's watch the body camera footage. Those aren't people going to record them. That's actual body cam. That's the cop. And he knows he's being recorded. And they still act like that.
Yeah.
Now, what would they act like before body cams came out?
And it's funny because body cams are pretty new, man. They're really new. And so these cops, think about all these cases where these cops would have got away with all this stuff if it hadn't been for body cams, because back in the day, people just took the cop's word for it, man. If this is what the judge and the DA sees that, and this is what the cop wrote in the report, and they just took that as that's word is bond. And it's just not true. We're finding now with body cams that how much they lie, and if they lie a lot.
Yeah. And it's okay for them to lie, but God forbid if you lie.
Oh, I know. Well, they're trained to lie. They're supposed to.
Right. It's so messed up, man. Which is crazy because 5 years ago, I was the dude that was like, we'll just comply and make it easier.
Yep.
And then the one thing that did happen to me is when I started watching like 1A community videos, because I was like, something didn't feel right about that, man. Like this dude was trying to get my ID, and I gave it to him because I was raised, the police officer is your friend. He's the good man. But I just had this gut feeling like, dude, I don't know, man. Like, why am I giving you my ID? I didn't do shit. Like,
and I'm the same boat, man. Like when I first started seeing these videos too, exact same, bro. I was like, oh shoot, I didn't know that. I didn't know that you didn't have to show your ID unless you commit a crime, really. And then I would start thinking back of all this times that I had interaction with police officers, and they manipulated me. And because I even put up, some resistance, like, why should I have to show you my ID? I didn't do anything. And they would just manipulate and lie. And then I was like, okay, well, I guess I have to. I don't know. And that's why I say it's the slogan on my channel is, if you don't know your rights, you don't have any. And I'm like, dang, man, I had my rights violated. I didn't even know that. So that's what really intrigued me and got me to do this. And so, all you have to do really is just wake up one person, and like somebody woke me up by watching their video, and now I woke up someone else, right? Maybe I've woken up a few people, and then that person just has to wake up one more person, right? And then it grows. It's like when you have a penny and you double it, and then you double it, and you double it. Eventually you got millions of dollars. So
yep, exactly. And actually, Accountability for All, Josh was the first channel I started watching, and then Brian, which at the time was High Impact Flicks, and then you. And then with that being said, you guys are, well, John Eagle, John Denny Cola, Midwest, but like those three channels are like the main ones that every day I'm like, did they put a video out? Did they put a video out? Did I put it? And speaking of, John Eagle just put a good video out recently, but dude, my mind's all over the place. But also your channel is Do Better.
Oh yeah.
Do Better.
Right on, dude. Yeah, I didn't even see that up there. You still got it, dude. I still got yours too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah. Oh, that's my old one too. Shit.
Yeah, dude. That's the old, and I didn't take the sticky part off. I used masking tape so that I could use it.
Too. That's funny. I did the same thing. It still got the same shit. I still got the that's awesome.
Well, I'm passing out, homies.
Oh shoot. All right, yeah. Well, we're going on 4 hours, so we're gonna wrap it up for sure.
Right now.
I called for a pizza and it's closing in 20 minutes, man. So I'm out.
Yeah, I gotta get some dinner too before I go to bed.
Yeah, I haven't eaten today. I ate once. I think I ate like a sandwich at like 12. That was like 11 hours ago.
Yeah,
so dead.
Cool.
Much love. Great show.
Yeah.
Awesome having you here, man.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Thank you, D.M.A, for coming up today, man. It was really awesome. And yeah, we'll definitely keep in touch, dude.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Thanks for having me up, man. I had a good time. I always have a good time when I come up here, dude. So, yeah, I'm down to come up whenever you invite me up, dude. I have a good time up here. So thanks for having me.
Right on. Awesome. All right. So any final thoughts for anyone in the chat, or Dave's going to order a pizza?
He already ordered it, he said.
Oh, he already ordered it.
I just can I give myself a shameless plug?
No, yeah, I was gonna say plug all your shit.
Right on, thanks. So I was if you didn't hear before, I'm working on really intense documentary on the main D.M.A channel. It's going to be probably a couple months before I can get that out. So there might not be any content on the main channel, but I have Denver Metro Audits 2.0, and my friend F in Reality who's in the chat. Subscribe to him. He's my editor. He's going to be putting together some compilation of some old stuff on there. But then I also have my personal channel, Christopher Cordova, that I'd like to plug, and the link to that it's in the about section on all my channels, and it's just my personal channel, kind of like this one, with Steve and Dave, and just kind of, you know, chop it up and talk about whatever. So check it out. I got some static videos on there, shorts and live streams and stuff, if you want to just chop it up and hang out with us. So that's all.
Right on, man. Awesome.
Yes,
And shout out to Midwest Accountability real quick. Thank you for that super chat. I gotta play it real quick. Super chat video. Thank you, Midwest. I appreciate that.
Super chat, super chat.
I just made that like a week and a half ago, and that was the second time I played it. The first time was earlier.
I was here for the first one.
Yep.
Nice.
So cool. But all right. Well, with that being said, everyone. Yeah, sun's going down here. It's only 5:30. So in beautiful Hawaii.
Almost midnight here.
I'm gonna close out with my Back to Blue Till It Happens to You song. But much love, much aloha to everyone. Shout out to D.M.A for coming on the show today. Shout out Dave's not here, man, for always being there for me. Shout out to everyone in chat. Shout out to all the super chats. I love all you guys. If it wasn't for you guys in the chat, there'd be no point in me doing this at all. So I love all of you. I love all y'all. That's what I always say in chats. So with that being said, have a beautiful morning, beautiful day, beautiful afternoon, beautiful evening, beautiful night. Whatever it may be, wherever you are. Much love, much aloha, and most importantly, God bless.
Go 3. We got one of those guys. Go stand up. Stand up for his rights. Stand back up.
You and I can change it all, like I said before. I'm not scared anymore. Order followers in our streets, taking everything from we the people, trapped in darkness, reaching for light. He's got his boot on your neck, hypocrite, and he's expecting you to lick it. Every day you're striving to get through, they get a paid vacation for unaliving you. Back the blue till it happens to you. Fuck the blue, it's time to break through. Fuck the blue, it's time to break through.
We got a live one here. Caught this guy driving with his wife and kids in the car, and he was going 5 over the limit. Let's take this guy down.
Fuck the blue. Happy fuck the po-po day.
Order followers trample through our streets, stealing the power of we the people. When truth is obscured and the lines become blurred, where can we turn for light to burn? Do cops become psychopaths, or do psychopaths become cops? Egotistical, deceitful, narcissistic, psychopathic, low-life scum.
He's got his boot on your neck, hypocrite, and he's expecting you to lick it. Every day you're striving to get through, they get a paid vacation for unaliving you. Back the blue till it happens to you. Fuck the blue, it's time to break. Fuck the blue.
Here's the deal. Look, buddy, we can do this the easy way or the hard way.
The less you know, the less it hurts, but it's too late for me. I saw the worst. I see right through the stupid games they play. I swear it's always been this way.
I told him if he didn't drop his attitude, I would arrest him for obstruction. So I tased him.
He's got his boot on your neck, hypocrite, and he's expecting you to lick it. Every day you're striving to get through, they get a paid vacation for unaliving you. Back the blue till it happens to you. Fuck the blue, it's time to break through. Fuck the blue, and fuck you too. I'm not scared anymore.
Behind closed doors, deals made in the shadows, draining our strength every single day. Promises broken, trust betrayed. In the game of power, we the people pay. Corruption creeps and takes its toll. Right stripped away, leaving us less whole. With whispers of power, they lead astray, stealing freedom slowly, day by day. We got one of those guys who thinks he knows his rights. I'm gonna need backup. He won't give me his ID. He didn't break any laws, but my ego needs to be stroked. If he doesn't comply to my unlawful